mercury may have fallen, but it is boiling point now for the Caesars. They are 1-4 coming into today's game against the Coventry Phoenix, who come in on a rally 3-1-1. But with everything to play for, the Caesars are still slightly in control of their own destiny. They still mathematically can make the playoffs, but they still could go into the play-in game. What will happen today as they take on the Coventry Phoenix? Joining me in the booth today, Lloyd Stone.
Pleasure to be here again.
Oh, you've given me more of an intro than normal. Normally it's just a hello. he's getting there.
I'm building it.
We are building it. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting game today. It's 1-4 against 3-1-1, and you've got to say that the Caesars have not had a good run as of late. They've had some relatively big losses, admittedly against the Manchester Titans the previous two games, but they just can't get an offense going, can they?
No, and as we'll see later, there's been a bit of a change at quarterback given some injuries. We're going to see some new blood. What is the Caesars offense going to look like? Are their defence going to be able to hold them in as they make their way onto the field now?
Yeah, it will be Nate Wilson, we believe, leading the Caesars at quarterback. Liam McGovern, I've been told, is not going to be cleared to play for another couple of weeks, though he is expected to be back for the next Caesars game. Now, an interesting end to the season here for the Caesars. They've got to take on Coventry today. They've also got to take on Newcastle Vikings, a bit of drama we'll talk about at some point coming up. And then they've got to go away to take on the Phoenix again. It's not a nice end to the season. Lloyd, how do you see this going?
It's a very interesting place for the Caesars because you don't know what you're looking forward to. You don't know if you're looking at surviving the season by playing all your games out and avoiding relegation. We just don't know what's going to happen with what happened with Newcastle last night, and that's got to be playing on the Caesars players' minds. Obviously, as a coaching staff, you'll want to be going, play the game in front of you, worry about what's going to happen in terms of divisions later, but it's going to be playing on some of those players' and coaches' minds, I believe. Yeah,
we see the captains walking out, but first, we're going to cut to an interview with head coach Vanden Warner. I'm here on the field pre-game with Vanden Warner, head coach of the Nottingham Caesars. Vanden, you're 1-4 coming into today. How do you think your season's gone so far?
It's not been the ideal season, but we knew it was going to be tough coming up to the Prem. You're playing the best in the country. So yeah, we just basically wanted to try and establish ourselves up in the Prem North and just take it one step at a time.
Yeah, taking it one step at a time. You've had that victory over EKP, but now you've got to take on the Coventry Phoenix. They are having a good season so far. 3-1-1 they are coming into today, and they've had big victories over the Manchester Titans and then a tie with the East Kilbride Pirates, 28 apiece last week. How do you think today's game is going to go?
Again, it's going to be another tough game, but all the games we believe are winnable. So we've just got to go out and trust in our guys, trust in our approach to the game, and see what we can do. Hopefully we can get the win today.
And you've got two games after this, a repeat with the Phoenix, and then you've got to travel to the Vikings. How do you see those going with the playoff game implication with against the D1 as a potential at the end of the season?
Well, we've just got to approach each game exactly the same. We've got to approach them as though they're all winnable. Trust in our coaches, trust in the players, just trust that our process will come out on top.
Well, good luck today, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So we're back on the field, hearing there from head coach Vanden Warner. He said the season's not quite gone how they wanted it to go, but they're looking to each of the three games remaining, thinking that they're all winnable. Speaking of winning, it was the Phoenix that won the coin toss and elected to defer. You see Nottingham coming out in their return formation, Coventry to kick off. Now, Lloyd, it's going to be an interesting game today. I've got the Phoenix results here, and it's been almost a mixed bag for them. You know, they've had wins over the Newcastle Vikings, 19-0 and 17-10. They won over the Manchester Titans 9-7, and then they lost in the first week to East Kilbride Pirates 18-16. Maybe that's first week jitters. And then went for a 28 apiece tie last week, which was a chaotic game. EKP led, I think, 28-12 at one point, and then Phoenix managed to bring it back. So what do you expect to see from the Phoenix today?
We're going to see some points, I believe. I think they've got what it takes to go up against the Nottingham Caesars defence. I think it's going to be really interesting to see if the Nottingham Caesars offence can go with this defence. They've shown some real strength throughout the season. So hopefully we see some points on both sides, but I'm expecting big things from the wandering West Midlands Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to call them Tamworth. They're still in the orange, but they have moved to Butts Park. as we are, for the last time at home this season, underway at the David Ross Sports Village. The kick right to left is going to be fielded and returned up the middle. There is a lane up the middle, and he's going to be taken down. He's not going to be taken down. Ben Harrison trucks through a man, and he's going to get his way all the way to the 40-yard line. Caesars with a statement on this opening return.
And from a special teams point of view, that's exactly what you want. You want to see people getting behind, creating extra blocks, leading through. You want to see that return and not taking to ground on first contact and working forward. We now see the Nottingham Caesars offence come out to the field.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting. What are they going to do? The black helmet there is Nate Wilson. He is going to be the quarterback standing in for the injured Liam McGovern. It was a difficult first outing for him last time. A big loss against the Manchester Titans, 27-0. It's going to be an orbit motion from Harrison, and it's going to be a handoff to Fraser on the opening play. A couple of yards gained there before he's driven back by the swarming Orange defence.
Yeah, and first play out of the gate, you probably want to settle everyone's nerves. New game, new set. Keep yourself on schedule.
Yeah, let's have a look. It's going to be a gain of a couple of yards there. Going to bring up 2nd and 8, it seems. So Caesars coming up to the line. It looks like it's going to be Wellington Taffray, Welly T, number 10 in at running back there, flanking Nate Wilson. Doubles either side, trying to spread out this Knicks defence, and it will be going to the air. Nate Wilson's first pass attempt is up, it's high, and it's incomplete. Ben Harrison might be tall, but he's not quite that tall.
No, unfortunately not. Ben Harrison trying to get to that ball, and maybe a little bit less on that, and could have came in. It's good to see that Nottingham aren't afraid to go and use all the playbooks straight away. We've seen them run and pass, we've seen them trying to stretch the field. Previously in the game, we've seen them get very tight in their formations. They were really enjoying that 2-back formation earlier.
Yeah, they stuck a lot in that 2-back formation. Mixed results for them, wasn't it? Sometimes they bust some big plays, sometimes it went nowhere. But 3rd and 8, it's going to be 3rd and long here for the Caesars. Motion from Sam Fraser coming across, forming doubles. Nate Wilson takes the ball, looked quick for Sam Fraser, and it is just behind him. It would have been a first down, and it is just incomplete. Nate Wilson's first 2 passes, only just errant. Is that a good confidence boost for him, though? He really struggled in the last game. The first 2 passes, okay, they didn't quite connect, but you're closer than you were in the previous game.
Yeah, and that's what you expect when you bring a new quarterback in mid-season. You've not had that long pre-season to work on getting the rhythm with your receivers, your running backs. You don't know exactly where somebody's going to be on their routes. They're in the vicinity. I think they can, as the game goes on, get that crisper.
Yep. Snap is back and the punt is away. That's Andrew Wilkins, number 22, trying to chase that down. It's going to be out of bounds. Let's see where the referees are going to mark this one. Who knows where the referees are going to mark this one? And while we're speaking of our officials, let's have a quick look at our officials today. So we have... That is Brooks Lewis, your referee, Emma Harris, line judge. You have Kenny, Christopher, and Black making up the remainder. And while we're here, I'm going to quickly flash the QR code. Pause the stream if you want to join BAFA. Sorry, we're running this off one computer today, so it's making life exceptionally difficult for us. We're having to quickly flip between our streaming software and our camera software. So apologies if it's not quite as crisp as normal.
We're going to power through and give you the best broadcast we can, though.
We will do indeed. Now, this is where we play fun and games, because I don't quite know all of the Coventry players, and black numbers on orange jersey is not the easiest thing in the world to read. It's going to be a fake, it's going to be a boot, and it's going to be thrown and complete to the receiver, who's going to pick up 10 yards. That looks like number 9, George Hatfield, in at quarterback for the Knicks. I couldn't get any stats on him because they weren't uploaded to League Republic.
Tut, guys.
Yeah, we all know you should be uploading to League. Some of them are. So one of the Schofield brothers that played for the Knicks, who is also a UON player at the moment, is currently leading the league in interceptions. I know that, but I don't know what the Knicks passing stats have been like.
Oh. Well, we'll see what they're like in this game.
Yeah, and I'm trying to look for the running back's number, and for some reason I thought it was 22, and he's not on my roster. It's a great start for today.
No, they do have a 22 out there.
Yeah. Short motion, and it is going to be counter to the offside, and he's gone straight through, and the running back looks like he's going to take this the distance. Only one man to beat, beats him, and it is going to be a hawk down tackle there. Harry Johnson, the safety, managing to make it all the way back to make that tackle, but that is a big run on the opening play for I have no idea who the running back is there, number 22. Unfortunately, not on my roster.
Number 22 though, did have a conversation with him walking into the stadium today. Very pleasant lad, talking about the game and hoping that he'd have a big game. And he looks like he started off with that.
Yeah, well, fortunately, we have Nick Thurgood from the Coventry Phoenix Inn doing the cameras for us today, who has very helpfully leaned over and told me that's Bali Olapona in at running back. So thank you very much. Much appreciated. There we are. It is going to be a play action, but it's going to be stuffed in the backfield. Not play action, sorry. It will be a run. And it's going to be taken down. First contact made by Karim Handy, who has made his transition. He started at nose, he then went to linebacker, then went to safety, moved back to linebacker, and has finally in game 6 moved his way back to nose tackle.
And at one point he played running back with me, so he's had a good jaunt around the football field lately.
He has. That looks like it was Wakefield in at running back there, number 15. So, interesting. One big play. They tried to go back to it. It looked like the counter again, and it was stuffed for a loss. So, second down incoming. We see him second down and just beyond the sticks. Snap back. It's going to go to the air. It's going to be that little rub route we've often seen before, and I think we're going to wait for the signal. It will be a touchdown. Number 3, James Schofield, one of the Schofield brothers there, taking the ball in for a touchdown.
Yeah, and very well played by the Knicks here. It looked like it was in from the start, but I was speaking to Simon Ham, the DC of Nottingham earlier, saying that they just need to do the fundamentals and give the offense a chance. Put in a quarterback who's not been with you very long, down by 6 to 8 points to start with, really not helping him get his feet set.
No, not at all. So we're waiting to see what the Knicks are going to do here. They look like they're going through a bit of confusion. It looks like they want to line up for a PAT, but we're just waiting to see. So, unsure what's going on here. Maybe the officials are just having a bit of a conflab, as they often like to. Still waiting. Jed seems to be happy, and the whistle is going, we think.
Okay. We may never know
what was happening. I really want to mic Jed up. Snap is back, hold down, kick away, and the kick is good. The Phoenix will take the lead 7-0 over the Nottingham Caesars.
And for Nottingham, that's everything you didn't want to see. A third and out, better than the interceptions we might have seen earlier in the season. And on defence, giving up the big play and then not being able to hold at the goal line. You really want to be able to either limit the big plays, force that next team to work down the field, or to be able to bend, not break, and hold at the goal line.
Yeah, very much so. Trying to limit the teams to 3 rather than 7 would have been better. But now we're going to see the Caesars offense come out for a second time. But it was a big return on the first one. Harrison managing to truck through a couple of people. But then nothing doing on offense. Nate Wilson, 2 errant passes. Not interceptable, but just behind and over the head of the receiver. Putting that ball away, and then a big run by Bali Olapuna. And he's taken that down before it looks like James Schofield. Sorry, I will get the Schofield twins mixed up. James Schofield takes it in. It's almost a little squib kick down the floor. Will it go out of bounds? It's the blue lines. Now, not quite able to do the Jamal Williams, although I do feel like his foot was established out of bounds there. So
you only need 1 foot in bounds in this for a catch. You only not count.
It's one foot. If he had any part of his body out of bounds and then touched the ball is immediately out of bounds. It should be taken over at 35, which is what I thought he was trying to do.
He may have been trying. He may just not have succeeded.
Yeah, who knows? We don't quite know what goes through the officials' heads sometimes. This is where we could do with Stuart back. Stuart could have told us what was going on. Who filled in very well for me, I would say, as well last week.
Oh yeah.
He got text after the game saying, "How do you think it went?" And I was like, "Really well. I'm worried about my job now." Okay, second offensive drive for the Caesars. Sam Fraser, short motion, pitch, toss to Wellington Taffray. And he's going to try and follow the blockers outside. But it looked like he got blocked by Sam Fraser in the end. Nowhere to go as a horde of orange and black take him down there. Maybe a gain of 1 or 2. But the Caesars now trying to push the edges.
Yeah, we've seen them try and work on the inside earlier in the season. They might think that they've got something with that wide zone type blocking, that sort of toss crack. Let's be interesting to see what this QB feels comfortable running.
Yeah, definitely. And it's been, I think, better than the previous games where it was very clearly a lot of short passes, hitches, quick outs. And that's a fumble there. It's going to be fumbled because it was behind Tafrei. And it will be recovered by Tafrei, but that is now going to be third and a long way to go. These are the kind of mistakes that the Caesars cannot afford today if they're going to try and take down the Knicks.
Yeah, really need to see sustained drives from the offense. At least give the defense a chance to catch their breath, get some water, and look at what happened on those big plays.
Yeah, really difficult to go here now. You've got your not even backup quarterback, because he wasn't on the roster at the start of the season. He wasn't even on the roster when Liam broke his wrist. He'd been brought in after the fact, and I've got to say, Liam broke his wrist on about the second play of that game and then played the rest of the game. God knows how he did it. But he's been brought in after the fact, trying to learn a new playbook. I know he's worked with Grant before, as you see the touch pass, massive block there on the outside, and Sam Fraser has got some room to go, but he's going to be brought down just short. You feel like this is not 4-down territory. But my lord, it looked like either Ben Harrison or Mark Martin with an enormous crack block there to spring Sam Fraser open for big yards as we see the punt team walk onto the field.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see more from Nottingham. That's what we know Nottingham are capable of. But doing that from 15 yards back is very different from doing it from 5 yards back. If you can create those big plays while staying on schedule, not to get you out of a bad place.
Yeah, and it's disappointing there as well. There will be a little bit of the Phoenix playing back. They don't want to give the first down up, playing some soft coverage like it looked like there. You could see Schofield on that previous play wearing the white helmet of the University of Nottingham. We see a late oncomer onto the field here for the Caesars. Give me a short motion by Fraser into the up back position. Quick snap, almost blocked though, but he does get the ball away. A slower snap would have been blocked, and again bounces out of bounds, but this time the Phoenix will be taking over from about the 33-yard line.
Yeah, really competitive field position for the Phoenix to start with. Looking really interesting what they did on that last drive. If you're the Phoenix, what are your thoughts coming out against this Nottingham Caesars defence now?
I think they're going to... we've seen them... They went straight back to the counter after the big play there from Olapuna. I would expect to see that again. They're staying with this sort of half tight end, half up back alignment, which I never really know what to call it. They're lined up as a tight end, but not lined up on the line as a tight end traditionally would be. We think we might see it here. No, they are going to come out in... They are going to come out in a true tight end. It looks like Trips at the bottom of your screen there. Tight end Ollie Sweeney in, and it is going to be a stretch to the outside. That is great fill there coming down from Sam Pearson, number 21 there. And he is the reason that has been limited to only a gain of a yard or two.
Yeah, if he could, a high step or break a tackle there, and that is a real positive play for the Knicks.
It's going to be second down incoming. Hatfield checks the wrist coach, trying to work out what play has been called. He's got Olapona in behind him at running back as the Caesars look to stack the lineup. Condensed formation, it will be a drop back pass. It will be batted down at the line. That's number 90. That's Gus Opong there. Big bat at the line because the receiver was just breaking open on the out route as well. And now suddenly that goes from being a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 to a 3rd and 8. You've got to think this might be a drop back pass here again from Hatfield.
Yeah, they're going to want to be creating something to keep themselves on schedule here. They're really going to want to push down. And how much do they fear the Nottingham defence? How much do they fear giving the ball over for the Nottingham offence?
Yeah, interesting look here from the Caesars. It almost looks like they're playing a cover 3 and they do rotate into it. It's Hatfield. He looks down, but the hook defender came down. He throws it up. It's picked off. Andrew Wilkins, if he beats the man, he doesn't because he's old. I'm going to take the time to say it. But that is a big turnover there. Heavy pressure on Hatfield. I couldn't look at the number. It may have been John Winter and Karim Handy there combining for the pressure. Hatfield throws the ball up and it is intercepted by the veteran player, Andrew Wilkins. And it was almost what I was saying there. It was the rotation into the cover 3. He wanted the slant, but that's where the safety came into. And he came into that, what's called the hook. It's just off to the middle of the field. That's where a safety will roll down into. and he had nowhere to go with it. Tries to scramble out to the right and throws it to Andrew Wilkins.
And that's the beauty of getting that pressure up front, is it causes all those QB decisions to get really sped up.
And speaking of pressure up front, Tafrei has nowhere to go there. Manages to squeeze through for a yard or two because he is a big bowling ball of a running back, but absolutely nowhere to go. It's very difficult. You have to say that this offensive line is possibly one of the weaker points of the Caesars team, and they've just not been able to establish a run game all year, really.
No, and they've tried a few different things, like we talked about, the bigger formations, getting more bodies in the box, but we've just seen the boxes get more condensed. We've seen them go inside, outside, the triple option stuff, but now they're really trying to work outside in a zone blocking scheme a lot.
Big orbit motion here, and nobody follows. It looks like zone coverage, and it's thrown up for Harrison and batted down by Dan Schofield there, playing in at safety number 41. He is currently the league leader in interceptions, so throwing a ball his way is going to be a dangerous prospect. He's come down with 4 interceptions in 6 games.
And I thought he was going to make a 5th one there.
Yeah, I thought he was.
Really
as well.
good positioning on that ball, but was just able to tap it away.
Yeah, very much so. I know that Wilson was throwing up to Harrison, and often, if you're in that situation, okay, just throw it up to your big 6'4" receiver, hope he can go get it, but nothing done there. And we see this Caesars trickery. They come in a condensed formation and then split out into a traditional doubles with Gunn plus there. Tafrei flanking Wilson on the right, and it's going to be a handoff to Tafrei, who stiff arms one man, but he's got a long way to go as he's going to get taken down. Gain of a couple of yards, but still going to be 4th down.
The Knicks really good there at just keeping their discipline and adjusting, just moving people out. There wasn't any panic from those middle linebackers or that space. They just moved out. They knew what they were expecting. And I think we're seeing a kick here.
Well, Will Morgan, the kicker, is actually down as a specialist kicker and punter. He doesn't play positional football like a lot of people do in Britball. So see a bit of confusion late here. He's going to get the PAT set up. He's still calling for more people. He wants a wing for the right hand side. But Will Morgan, he does have a leg. Now, does he have what's going to be 42-yard leg? This is going to be the question. The snap is back, hold down, kick is away, and we wait for the official signal. The kick is good, my goodness! Wow. Will Morgan slots a 42-yard field goal to bring this game back to 7-3.
Now that is, for Britball standards, that's some incredible work. That really is good to see that you can get yourself into the other team's half. Yeah, you haven't come away with 7 points, but you've given your defence time to breathe, you've given your defence time to adjust, and you've got something positive out of it. You can go back to the sideline with your offence and go, guys, close, not close enough, but we've come away with something. You can win a game on threes.
Yeah, speaking of winning a game on threes, the last time I saw a field goal kick that far was during the Hurricane game between the University of Nottingham and Leeds Beckett, when they won it 9-8, 3 field goals there. So I have seen a game won solely on field goals before. I feel like that's not going to be the Caesars game plan today, but a much more positive drive, good yardage, but it's coming. The thing is, it's not coming off good scheme, it's coming off good plays. Tafrei with the stiff arm. You're seeing the big plays coming through. They need to start scheming some of these plays open. There's only so much you can do if you're hitting the line every single time.
Yeah, and it's going to be really up to Grant Lawless to go into that bag of tricks and see what he's got for these situations.
As we see the kick away, and it is just going to roll for a touchback. I was waiting to see the official signal. It just snuck its way into the end zone. I do apologise if you can hear some badminton commentators over us. If you'd like to watch badminton at David Ross Sports Village, there is some going on at the moment. But we'd much rather you stuck with us right now.
We've had a good range of sports across from the booth. We've had boxing, we've had
korfball.
What
else have we had? All sorts, really.
No, I think it all due to shout out the Nottingham defence for getting that pick six so close to the end zone and being pick so close to the end zone, not pick six, and setting the Nottingham offence in a position where they can get some points.
And really, this Nottingham defence is something special. The fact the number of points they've conceded is coming down to where they are starting defensively. As we're going to see, very fast handoff off the inside, and he's going to be taken down, but not after a gain of 5 or 6 yards. That was an incredibly quick handoff. It was lightning through the backfield there, and all of a sudden, he's straight through into the secondary.
And that's what happens when your QB and your running back have worked together a long time, I assume. You narrow that down, and that might be causing a few of those issues for the Nottingham run game as well at the moment.
The Nottingham run game often takes slightly longer to develop as well. A lot of these outside zones, these tosses, whereas that was a dive straight up the middle. Nothing really going there for the Caesars. You can see 4, almost 5 men on the line as the short motion comes through. Split block across from the up back, and again, that quick inside zone is going to be taken down. Gain of 2 this time, as it looks like Olapuna is being the workhorse back in the white sleeves at the moment. 3rd and short incoming for the Knicks, and you feel like that they're in good position to pick it up here.
Yeah, they've shown you that they can run the dive and get those extra yards. They can drop back and go to the air if they think that this is 4 down territory. Nottingham defence has got to be prepared to play both here.
Yeah, definitely. Little bit of confusion here, it looks like, between Hatfield and Leicester, the receiver walking out to the top side of your screen. But you see trips to the bottom with the running back behind in the pistol. I would expect a run, if anything. Oh no, we've got a motion out. The trips becomes doubles. He looks quickly to the outside, does Hatfield. Manages to throw it up and throw it straight over the head of Leicester. Now, if you were Nottingham, you're looking at the discussion between quarterback and receiver as you're walking out and going, why would you be discussing a run play? This looks like it's going to be a pass. And it was a pass there. Something the Caesars could possibly latch onto here.
Yeah, and as a defensive player, when there's all that communication going on, you're making as much noise as you can. You're trying to disrupt that as much as you can. You're telling your sideline to get into it, especially with a receiver onto the Nottingham sideline. It's not as big as we've seen in recent games, but it can still make a lot of noise.
Yeah, definitely still make a lot of noise. And it is going to be a punt here, as we're going to see this is even more unorthodox than the Caesars punting formation. 2 up backs to one side with a personal protector. The snap is low, and it's going to be a rugby-style kick, almost blocked there. But that is an absolute hoof of a punt. Harrison has nowhere to go with that one. And the Caesars are going to have to go more than 80 yards if they want to reach pay dirt today.
Yeah, setup looked quite ugly, but that delivered the results. The protectors on one side just trusting the opener to get out, roll out faster than those edge rushers on the opposite side, and getting the kick away, and nowhere for Harrison to return it. Very good, almost coffin corner if it had been a few yards deeper.
It is definitely a coffin corner punt. I'm sorry, I've just pulled the comments up. Jack Turner, imagine being older and still only second best Schofield on the field. Oh, I love a bit of family rivalry at times. Nate Wilson is going to have to go. He's going to have to orchestrate such a big drive here from the Caesars if they want to put this in and try and take the lead of this game. The short motion again from Fraser. It's going to be almost a trap handoff to Tafrei, but with nowhere to go. Big penetration through the line there as we try and get the numbers. I think that's 44 for the Phoenix there. Looks like Harouche Fatiman coming through on the initial pressure.
Yeah, and this Knicks D-line is really having its way with the Nottingham O-line. We're not seeing any push generated in the run game, and the passing game, we're seeing a lot of pressure. I don't know if that's something you can fix in a game, or if you can simplify the playbook out a little bit more for your O-line, what it needs to be. But it's not a recipe for success at the moment.
No, you've got to feel that, as we see again, Tafrei with just no running room, no lanes being created. You've got to think that you've brought in Nate Wilson, right? You had McGovern, who has been a long-time player, the long-time quarterback for the Caesars here, at least 5 years. I mean, this is at least the 5th year I know of him playing for the Caesars. He's probably been here longer than that. You will have already simplified your playbook. I'm aware that Nate and Grant have worked together in the past, so there is levels of familiarity with what the playbook looks like, but it's already going to be simplified, and there's only so far you can simplify this. But I would love to say to the Caesars, just start running it up the middle, but even when they've tried that, they're getting pushed back. They're trying these outside runs, and even then, the Knicks defense is just too quick, and they are flowing too aggressively towards it.
Yeah, and if you look at how the Nottingham Caesars O-line are setting up, they are setting up in wide splits, they are getting deep stances, they look like, ooh.
Nice pass from Wilson. Is it going to be enough for the first down? We'll need to check the chains and see if the chains start moving, because it's going to be tight on the chains there, I think. And it is going to be inches short. Harrison couldn't quite bring it in, and the punt unit's going to come out. That is unfortunate for the Caesars. Nate Wilson completing his first pass of the day. Or is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's his first pass of today. And then just couldn't quite get the yardage required. You've got to think that Harrison should have just run that very slightly further.
Yeah, it's real challenging for Harrison. You want to get him the ball in space and let him create his own yak. We've seen that ability both on the kick returns and in previous games.
Big pressure again, but Will Morgan absolutely boots this away, and it will take a Caesars bounce. Keep on rolling inside the 30, and it is just about going to be downed. Let's call it the 27-yard line.
And they're very lucky to get that Caesars bounce there because they need as many yards as they can get here. Nottingham Caesars defence showing some capacity to hold this Knicks offence at bay, but you don't want to give them extra yards.
Yeah, and it's the pressure coming through. The thing is, Hatfield's just not thrown the ball away yet. He's had a couple of pressures, and he's thrown the ball up deep. He's thrown an interception. He needs to learn to be able to throw the ball away here. You see 4 men on the Caesars defensive line there. Karim Handy in at number 52. Gus Opong in at edge, top of your screen. There's going to see a short motion here from James Schofield. And it's going to be that counter play again. It's Karim Handy and Gus Opong straight through there on the play. Karim Handy doing a great job. Sees the guard pull in front of him and just lassos him. Follows the guard behind, knowing that the guard is going to be in front of the running back. If he follows him, he's going to meet the running back somewhere.
Almost the opposite of the commentator's curse there. You shout out 2 players on that D-line and they combine to make the tackle.
With my record, I'm absolutely shocked. Normally, it would have been run straight through one of their gaps with my record there. So how does this work? If I shout Harry Johnson, number 32, out there, just because he was the first number I see, he's coming down with a pick 6 this time, isn't
Let's hope.
It could be a pick 6 as it's a pass, but it won't be. That must have been batted down at the line somewhere. And again, it looks like Gus Opong is the one that they're all clapping up. So again, 2 plays there. Oh, there's a flag on the play. That's just, for those of you that don't know, it is just behind our beer keller sign. So we'll wait and see what this is. It might have been illegal formation. False start. Jed not doing his job properly and stopping the play. Penalty will be declined, which I still don't understand this rule, because false start is a dead ball foul, but you can then decline it if the play happens. Who knows?
Yeah.
Stuart, if you're watching, it's not, he's refereeing, but if you're watching, text me and let me know what's going on there. So it's going to be 3rd down and 12 incoming for the Knicks. Long way to go here as we see 2 to the bottom. It's Schofield in motion again. Doesn't stop this time for the sift block. He goes all the way across to the narrow side of the field. Hatfield looking to the wide side, looking to the narrow side. He completes it to Schofield, who makes 1 miss. And is he going to make the yardage? He is not. 4th down incoming for the Knicks, and you would think this is going to be punt time for them, given how they've punted so far today.
You would expect so. They've got a really good. We've seen a really good punt so far. That motion, we're seeing a little bit of turning in, sort of feigning that he's going to be the insert blocker, and carry on with his route. As long as that's not happening directly before the snap, that's not an illegal motion or anything. So I do like that as a use.
Yeah, and we've seen Schofield. This is what I like about the Knicks' offensive playbook. He's come in to that sort of up back position and then run a sift block. So what the offense is doing is they'll leave the far defensive end on the block and let Schofield come across for that. So we see the punt here. It's a roll out to the side. Heavy pressure again from the Caesars, but can't quite make it. Harrison to return. He breaks 1 tackle, breaks a 2nd tackle, but he's got a big swarm of orange. He's turned up the sideline. Still got a long way to go, but he's taken it down at halfway. You can see the Knicks players in the background asking for a block in the back flag. And I'll be honest, there was the possibility for one being thrown there, number 17 there. I don't know, I've not got 17, so you can be Nathan Willis, number 18. That's how it works, they round. I've just watched him walk onto the field there. He's got the white helmet playing defence. But no, you could be Nathan Willis, asking for the flag there. And I can't remember what I was talking about now.
I think on most punts and punt returns, you can probably call for a block in the back. It's so much is happening. There's only 5 referees to look at everything. Unless it's outrageous, let the boys play.
Let the boys play. And letting the boys play is Taffrey trying to take that sweep out the 2-back formation. The first time the Caesars are in it today, but only a gain of 1 yard there. So it's been a really interesting first quarter, actually. 7-3, maybe not the scoreline people would have expected. I think I was expecting either 0-0 or 14-0, frankly.
Yeah.
In the politest possible way, I wasn't expecting many Caesars points today. Looks like they've got, okay, they might be in a 2-back set, but that is Chris Baby in at fullback. And, oh, look at this. Not only is it the commentator saying something again and it happening, it is what we like to call one of the best quarter changes possible. Where are they? They're 1 yard off halfway. This is perfect. The linemen love it. It's just a good day all round.
See, I used to love the change for the quarter when you're the opposite way because you just got to breathe it. You've got to walk gently across the field.
Yeah.
But now here everyone's straight back to football.
Well, they get a bit of a breather here. I was saying they were in a 2-back formation, but we can see who one of those backs is, and that's Chris Baby, the Mansfield's second strongest man.
Not really?
He is Mansfield's second strongest man. I don't know who Mansfield's strongest man is, but it's not Chris Baby. He came second out of 12 in the powerlifting competition, and there's a couple of photos of him trying to carry the Atlas Stones, and it's not good television, shall we say. Chris Baby, very much a fullback rather than a running back, as we see pressure up 6 on the line for the Knicks. They're expecting run. They expect correctly. Chris Baby with the lead block. Tafrey manages to run behind Pancake from Chris Baby. Tafrey cuts it back, and he's going to get a gain of about 4 yards there.
And it's not where they expected it to go. They did want to get that fullback lead into an outside zone, but they have managed to sort of cut back against the grain and make a few yards. But yet again, it's more special players making special plays more than schemed up open blocks.
Yeah, very much so. Well, if you're having to cut back all the way across, because every hole is filled and you've made a man miss, you've not schemed your run up correctly, or your players are losing their blocks here. I think the Knicks can keep 4 on the defensive line at all times and just be fine with how the Caesars are playing. As we see that 3 front become a 4 front here. That's not even just 2 backs, it almost looks like 3 backs. Is it a free play? We don't know, but Wilson throws it up and just past the outstretched arms of Harrison. We can't tell if there was a flag down. There was a small jump, but the referees, as a former defensive lineman, the referees have started not calling those. As someone who once jumped, but definitely not offside in a critical situation, let's say 4th and 4,
Yeah.
national final. It never happened. We all know the ball was false snapped. And it's going to be the punt unit out there, so Nate Wilson didn't have the free play. He threw it up. Ben Harrison was just about open with his speed, but nowhere to go. Ben Harrison, also flag player as well. Some people may have seen the clips of him just catching touchdowns over people.
Yeah, very versatile athlete, really trying to put this team on his back a little bit in this later season.
Yeah. Sam Fraser comes in the up back. Will Morgan gets the punt away. It is going to hang in the air and it is going to bounce out of bounds. A little bit of a shank there. He could have got that much deeper into Knicks territory. But it looks like Knicks will take over at about the 21-yard line. Yeah, I think Ben Harrison plays flag and offense because he just doesn't want to tackle. That's all it is, really. Look, just admit it, Ben. You don't want to tackle. It's perfectly fine. You know, some people aren't real men as well.
Oh.
As a defensive lineman. These are things I'm allowed to say.
Yeah. But no, it's good to see. At that point, would it be better to take that fourth down attempt? You have got the Knicks around the 20-yard line, so they've got a distance to go. We have seen this defense hold them, but
yeah, they've not done a bad job after that first play. There's a little crack block there, and it is going to be sprung outside. Big run there by Olapuna. No flag for a false start called there. It was very close. I think Schofield was moving forward at the snap, which is typically thrown for illegal motion or illegal formation.
And similar to what we saw with the defence here, I think they're giving a little bit of the benefit of the doubt to the guys out there today, letting them just play it through, which is more enjoyable than a flag every 4 seconds.
Yeah, so. And I do have to say we were both down on the field, and it may have cooled down today, but from experience, that field is warm and retains heat so well. As we see the counter play again, and it is going to be sprung again as Henry Scanlon comes down to flatten the running back there. Henry Scanlon, number 7, who is, let's be polite, slightly undersized for a linebacker, but has absolute range going side to side on the field. As we see the running back injured down on the field, we will just gently pull the camera away from that. So we don't like to show, we're not the NFL, we don't show injuries.
No broken bones here.
No broken bones, yeah. That's not, no. And my parents want me to be a doctor. Oh, absolutely not. So hopefully the running back is okay. I couldn't tell if it was Olapuna, who has been absolutely electric as a running back, and he was so there as well, managing to make a big play out to the sideline. We've got a bit of time to fill here now, so let's talk about one of the sad stories of today. Mr. Nottingham Caesars himself, his final home game, Chris Hutchinson, It's his last home game apparently, as he's posted on Facebook.
Yeah, so saw a post about photos and how many years Chris Hutchinson has been with the team in many different roles within its committee and just really being an integral part of moving the team forward over the years.
Yep, so when 99 walks out, we will give him a shout out. I haven't seen him yet, but with 4 defensive linemen, not always the easiest to spot if he's out on the field. But yeah, we've got to give a shout out to Hutch there after, I don't even know how many years Hutch has been here.
I'm just going to assume that Pop World will be drank dry tonight.
that is the way it will go. So, second quarter, 7-3 here. The Phoenix very clearly looked like the better team, but have only managed to convert once, and it was off a very, very big play. That counter play that you've seen them run now 4 times. And we've seen, I like how they get into it. They motion. It looks like Schofield is motioned in as the sort of tight end. They then pull the guard and Schofield. And Schofield is a good blocker as well in space. We've seen it so far. And he manages to get out and really be a really good lead block while the guard pulls all the way around to kick out the defensive end. We're just checking our other screen. For those of you, we normally have 2 screens. We're having a bit of computer issues today with one of the computers having a password we don't know. So we're not able to log on to our second computer. If there are issues with the stream, if it's buffering or anything like that, if you could just let us know. Sometimes we've had issues before, and we're running it off one laptop that hasn't yet started overheating. So hopefully we...
Operative word being yet.
Yeah, I'm letting the yet do some heavy lifting. As it looks like it was Olapuna who was down on the field, but he is jogging back to the Knicks sideline under his own steam, which is good to see.
Yeah, that's great to see.
He's been absolutely electric for the Knicks, so they're going to hope he can come back in sooner rather than later.
And the water bottles being ran off the field, don't want them on there.
No, but water's going to be needed to hand today. I reckon it's probably about 26, 27 down on that field. It retains heat so well, even though it was colder overnight. It's still going to be hot now.
And it gets hotter every time you get hit to the ground, and every time you get dragged across it. It's not pleasant. It's beautiful for the cameras. It's not pleasant to play on some days.
No, play action boot, and that is going to be a receiver wide open in the flat. Came across to fake the block before he's going to get cleaned up there by Andrew Wilkins coming through. Number 84, Max Ludgate, was the receiver there. As we've just been told by our sideline correspondent, it started raining down on the field. So this could be interesting if the rain starts to pick up, because really it's going to affect the Caesars more than the Knicks, because they have been the ones trying to run the ball. That ball will be wet. It will be much easier to be fumbled.
Yeah, and if you've got a quarterback that's just a little bit off with his receivers, not quite getting that delivery perfect, the ball being a little bit wet, a little bit slippy can be the difference between a catch and a drop.
As a handoff to the outside, lots of space there. No force player there as he's going to pick up 10 yards. Is that number 15 again? Milo Wakefield, I believe it is, standing in for the injured Olapuna.
And speaking to Simon Ham before the game, he said he wanted his defence to get the fundamentals right, to contain, to pressure, and to work as a unit, and just no contain there.
No contain. No reason for that running back to be forced back into the teeth of the defence. He can just keep outrunning them to the sideline. And Wakefield's doing really well as a stand-in as well for Olapuna, and on the couple of snaps he had before Olapuna came out the game.
Yeah, there's been no substantive drop in quality here as we see him again take the ball and work through.
Yeah, nowhere to go that time though. The running lanes were just not there for Wakefield. He's going to be dropped for, let's say, a half-yard gain. We'll be polite about it.
Yeah, a few inches.
A couple of inch gain. So the Caesars now starting to get into that bend, not break kind of defence. You would think that if the Phoenix can pick up a first down here, they're likely within field goal range for their kickers. They've usually had pretty strong kickers over the years. But what is going to happen here? So it's George Hatfield, number 9, in at quarterback. Milo Wakefield in at running back. The snap is back. He's looking to the narrow side. He looks out, and that is going to be great catch there. Let's try and check the number there again. I think, again, that's 84, Max Ludgate, making the reception over number 32, Harry Johnson, who came in and absolutely clarted him as the ball made contact with Ludgate's hands. But what a great catch.
Yeah, really good to keep that ball through the contact. You'll often see where a receiver's got the position on the ball, and any pressure can really cause a dislodgement, can cause that receiver to fumble if he's made the extra football movement, or just create a drop.
Now, after this play, we're going to see what happens, but I'm going to come back to something interesting I saw with that last play. So, Hatfield in the pistol. It's going to be motion across. He's going to look to the far side. He's going to uncork it on the corner route, and it's going to be complete there. Again, is that Ludgate again? It is Ludgate again. Now, something I saw on that previous play, and it's happened a couple of times here, is that the Knicks are running a lot of what could be called in-out concepts. So they've got the inside receiver bringing out with the outside receiver coming in or going on a fade. The Caesars have picked up on that. We've seen Harry Johnson, and what he was coming down for there wasn't to get the receiver. He was trying to intercept that ball. Now, if anyone remembers the Trayvon Diggs season, where he either gave up a touchdown or a pick six, and there was no in between, that's kind of what they're going for here. And I do think the Caesars are going to have to go for that. They're going to have to take some risks here, because you've got to think, offensively, I'm not sure they can hold with the Knicks all day. So you've got to hope the defense can either put you in a good position or score. So Harry Johnson there, number 32, looked like he was going to go for the pick. And if it is a pick on that kind of route, it's a pick six. There's no doubt about it.
It's a very volatile way to play defense. Like you said, it's pick six or it is 6 points behind you.
Fade into the end zone, and that's going to be batted down. Let's just check the secondary number. It's 20-something. We're going to call it 26. Let's say that's Sam Fisher in at corner. Andy Wilson still injured, still not playing in at corner, which is a big loss. One of their starting corners injured in, I think, game 2 of the season, and still not back yet. I did tell him to man up, but when he said he might need surgery, I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll allow you that one.
No, it's very important for these guys to take the recovery they need and get back. Obviously, we've talked a little bit about the Newcastle situation, but there may be playoff implications for Nottingham. You want to have those players there.
Yeah, short motion here, toss to the outside, and they do have the force this time as Olapuna is back in the game, but with nowhere to go here on second down. They'll be dropped after a gain of 1 or 2.
And that is what you want to see from your defence. You want to see somebody in the way, somebody going to meet the point of attack, and then giving enough time for the rest of the defence to converge.
Yeah, definitely. And that is in comparison to how the Caesars are running this toss. So we've seen the toss from Wilson to Tafrei. It just doesn't quite hit as quickly. And when you're going to the outside and you're worried about your offensive line, you need these things to hit at lightning speed. And it's not, it's just slow, and that's part of the issue with Wilson coming in. He doesn't quite know where Tafrei is going to be. We've seen the fumble that had to be recovered. This is the difference now when you've got a new quarterback against an established quarterback. Hatfield has a lot of space to the bottom of the screen, and that is where he looks, and that is where he throws. Corner route to Schofield, and it is over the head. Trail coverage there from the Caesars defender. Is that Gabe Wiseman, number 30? I complained about black numbers on orange, but frankly, burgundy numbers on white isn't much better when they all roll them up.
Yeah, I think we need to get the BAFA rulebook about that rolled up jersey about, because it makes commentating much difficult.
It makes my life so much harder. But fourth down incoming, and it will be a kick, we presume.
Does look like it. We might see something sneaky here, but I imagine that they'll take the points and just go touchdown ahead.
Yeah, it's George Hatfield in at the holder. Aaron Jones will be the kicker. So the snap is back, hold down, kick is away, and the kick is good. The Phoenix will lead 10-3 over the Nottingham Caesars here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and as we say each week, we don't have a game clock up here, so we're not sure how much is left, how that might have played into their decisions. What's going to happen with Nottingham coming out here? Are they going to allow themselves to be patient on offence? Are they going to let themselves take another 3 and go into the half down 4? Or are they going to be more inclined to try and close that gap even quicker?
You would think they want to close the gap here, really. And it's not just it's better to be tied up at half time than it is to be trailing. But mentally, I don't think the Caesars are going to be able to cope with being behind going into the second half. I think they need to at least be either close or, maybe we've gone for 2 and missed it, so we're down 1 point.
And here we're seeing a lack of special teams discipline, unfortunately. Again, Chris Baby there pointing that we need an extra man.
So a lot of the special teams players actually are not available today, either through injury or unavailability, as we are going to see the Knicks kick off, and it is going to be a deeper kick-off than last time. It's going to be fielded. I think that is Harrison that's going to be returning it, and he's going to make one man miss. He's going to have to do a lot more work, though, and that work cannot be done. He's going to be dropped at the 22-yard line with a long way to go here for the Caesars.
Yeah, and 22-yard line, it's a lot less than we've seen from him in the other returns, but it is still giving his offense a chance to start. And the offense itself now needs to get 3 yards of play, 4 yards of play. They don't need to go out there and score it all at once, but they need to give the rest of the team a chance to breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. It gets them out of that sort of danger zone of, okay, maybe if a fumble happens, we're close to a safety kind of thing. But we got trips to the bottom of the screen. Interesting trips as well here. You've got a stack between Harrison and Fraser on the inside. Whether this is going to be a Fraser motion or it's going to be a straight drop. It's not. It's going to be a handoff to Taffrey. And it was an interesting play there because Fraser turned inside and almost dropped back as if he wanted to take a reverse. And it looked like Taffrey spotted the gap and went up the middle.
So I saw the two pulling guys. I think that was a design counter with some confusion in the handoff from the QB.
Potentially, yeah. I apologise, that's not Taffrey. That is Ezekiel Onanua in at running back. I hadn't spotted that the helmet had changed from black to white. So Onanua in at running back. Still, Nate Wilson is going to be your quarterback for the Caesars. Doubles to the screen, and it's going to be a quick out thrown, almost replicating what the Knicks have been doing, but very little gain there to Sam Fraser. Great tackle there. Either from... This is where we're going to play the game. Is that 69? It could be Udvardy, number 69 there, who made the tackle. It could be 44, Fatamian. Or it could have been a safety whose number I can't see because he's politely not turned to face the camera for us all.
I am just loving the defensive ends number at the minute. I can just see 2 crest numbers on the front.
Unbelievable. Trips to the top of the screen, and that will become doubles as Harrison motions across. Harrison has really been the big target, and that is the way that it's looked. But again, Nate Wilson just short-arming the pass. Harrison can't get underneath it. And the tackle was going to be made anyway by Dan Schofield, number 41 there. But 4th down and 6. We see the punt team come out, and Will Morgan is really going to have to put a shift in today to help his team.
That man's going to need a sports massage after today.
And if you want a sports massage, where could he go?
You can go to Performance Stretch, who are the rehabilitation and recovery sponsors of the Nottingham Caesars this year.
Yeah.
They've been for quite a few years.
Yeah, if you want to find them, it's Is it Performance Stretch UK on Instagram, or
Something like
just
that.
search Performance Stretch, it will come up.
Yeah.
Sam Fraser motions in. Will Morgan, so much pressure, just manages to not get hit as he takes the punt away, and it will be returned by the Phoenix. And great tackle there. Andrew Wilkins, the veteran, manages to bring down the returner, Nathan Lester.
Really lucky that he got there in time as well, because the punt coverage wasn't there. It was him, one other person, and then there wasn't that net you want to see collapsing. So, good result, not a great formula to get there.
No, Will Morgan very much outkicked his coverage there. He booted that so far that it just didn't have time for the players to get down there. So it's going to be the Knicks back out on offense after scoring 3 last time out. But not seeing much of Hatfield. You know, a couple of passes, but nothing has connected all that well. They've kept to the shorter stuff. We had the one deep corner that connected. But in the pistol again, I'm expecting to see a run here because see Schofield run a sift block. And we do see Schofield run a sift block. Olapuna makes one man miss, makes a second man miss. He has the sideline, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds by Harry Johnson. But then again, you see it. It's Schofield comes in. They run the sift blocks. They don't need to block the far defensive end. And Olapuna and Hatfield, it just hits so quickly that the hole opens up.
Yeah, they are working at a different speed to the Nottingham Caesars run game at the moment. I don't think there's a clearer way to say it. They're turning, they know where each other are, they're working that, and it's clear that it's been repped 100 times this season so far, several hundred possibly.
Yeah, and this is why you run out of the pistol as well. It just gives you that yard or two less distance for the ball to go and hit. Tight end to the bottom of your screen. Short motion again from Schofield as the counter comes. The guard pulls, Schofield pulls, but Henry Scanlon is there to try and take him down, and he does. Puts the arm up in celebration. Dropped for a loss. There's potentially an injury as we just pull the camera away.
Yeah, and Nottingham Caesars defensive line doing a really good job of feeling the pulls and not just going, ooh, quarterback, but actually riding those pulls out and finding the running back behind it.
Yeah,
if you follow the pulley, you'll find the ball.
Yeah, we do have a player down on the field. We don't have a number, I'm afraid, but 17. You can be Nathan Willis. It's not Nathan Willis, I'd just like to point out, because I have seen him, but I don't have a 17 on my roster. So I'm afraid we don't know who this is. But while we're here, let's talk about the drama of last night. At about 10:30, 11 o'clock, it was alerted that the Newcastle Vikings were unlikely to travel to the Manchester Titans. And then this morning, I think it has been fully confirmed that the Newcastle Vikings will be forfeiting their game against the Manchester Titans today due to low player numbers. Now, the thing about this is that forfeits typically mean automatic relegation.
They do.
So, people have had a look at the BAFA rules, and of course, they're written in a nice, clear, unambiguous way that everyone can understand.
Yeah, they're about as clear as mud.
Yeah, I'm afraid not. I don't know who wrote the BAFA rules, but I had two different ways of interpreting it. I can't remember the rules exactly, but basically it says that a forfeit has an automatic relegation, but it's then ambiguous whether that means you're going to go into the play-in game and then you have to defend it against, in the North, is going to be the runner-up of the D1 Northern final, or you just get automatically relegated and you cannot defend it via the play-in game. The way it's written is ambiguous and you can see both sides of it. I think with the statement Newcastle put out, they are expecting to be automatically relegated because of it, because they sort of said we accept the consequences of what will come from this, which to me reads nothing other than we know we're going to get relegated for this. But it's down to the BAFA competition committee to make a decision. If you'd like to tell me, and we can have your decision read out live on air, please feel free to get in contact.
Yeah.
It's Instagram, text me, put it in the YouTube comments.
You would think the sensible thing would be that you'd have the automatic relegation for the yellow card, and that you'd have the winner and the runner-up of the Div 1 Bowl going up together, and they would both take those spots in the Prem North.
Yeah, I would.
That would put Nottingham in the 4th seed, which would mean that they would go off to play the 1st seed of the... No?
I don't think that's how the playoffs work. I thought it was top 2.
It was top 4.
No, I think it's top 2 in the Prem. We're turning to look at the other person in the booth who might know. We've got no idea! We are, like, how do we put this politely? Professional.
Yeah. There's no winging it as we go in.
No.
But either way, it would make sense that the teams that haven't played all their games go down, and the teams that continue to play all their games get to stay up.
Yeah, and I think that's what most people would consider fair, isn't it?
A little less excitement that we don't get those playing games.
Yeah, it's always difficult, but I think Newcastle have said that on the grounds of player safety that it wasn't a sensible thing to do, which is fair enough. There's only so much, you don't really want to be rocking it with about 18 guys to go and do that, really. So we do have a player down. It doesn't appear particularly like a good start, frankly. The Nottingham physio is out. The Coventry, still having to remind myself this is Coventry, physio is out. So thank you in the comments, whoever said number 17 is Reece Parfitt. Let's find what number he was actually written down as on my roster. He's written down as 88. So
Close enough.
close enough. They are, of course, the same number. So thank you to... I can't even say the Knicks because they didn't give me this roster. I had to source a roster myself. So while we are here, is there anything you want to talk about? It's always really difficult when you suddenly get an injury and it's a long time to fill. Let's. Actually, it does look like the players are getting up. And speaking of number 17, that is Reece Parfitt, who is down on the floor, but he's sat up now, which is good. They're just helping him up to his feet. We're just going to have a look, but the helmet's coming off. He looks okay, all things considered. He's just being checked out by the physio. It could have been a knock to the head, it could have been anything, but he's walking off
on his own.
Yeah, he's walking off under his own power, which is really good to see. You can just see him there going down to the bottom of the field. Potentially might have been a knock to the head. There may have been a quick sort of head injury assessment. I don't know what they call it. They call head injury assessments in American football. I've watched too much rugby league recently.
No, really important to make sure the guys out there playing are looking after their health and that take these head injuries seriously.
So hopefully we will see him back in the game later. Back in the game is Milo Wakefield, the running back there, number 15. Phoenix staying in the pistol, but it will be a drop back pass here. Hatfield looking to his left, throws it deep, and that is complete between the zones of Harry Johnson and Sam Pearson. He's going to be dropped, but it's going to be a big game there. As we just have the badminton commentator trying to talk over us. It will be 3rd down and 4 there after a gain of about 6.
Yeah, really good pass to slot it in between the two defenders and create a positive there while he was being pressured. Also really good to see them come out of the breaks, burst out of the huddle, get that play straight away.
Yeah, they came out swinging there. Big gain of 6 yards is what you're going to need there. Hatfield in the pistol. Wakefield in behind him. Drop back pass. Hatfield fumbles the ball. The ball is on the floor, but he's going to manage to... He has dove on top of it, but the ball just slipped out of his hands there.
And we did say it's been raining on the field. You don't know, is the ball got slick? Was there a bit of contact? It looks like he just dropped it.
It looks like he just straight up dropped it. So 4th down incoming, and the Caesars potentially getting away with one there. And I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of pressure here on the punt today. I'm trying to get the punter's name. It's potentially 44. It's potentially not 44. It's not. It's
47.
It's 47. Ross Denton. Why can we not have someone from the visiting team here every week? As the punt is high, really heavy pressure, and the flag is out. It's because they didn't have enough men in, and someone ran in late, and then the ball got snapped, and chaos ensued. And I think the referees were right to stop that. Otherwise, I think Denton may have become a fixture of the turf with the sheer number of players that had rushed through there.
That's sometimes what you call a jailbreak. Just everybody through the wall. Yeah.
I was always a fan of calling that all dogs go. back when I once, long time ago, had a play installed that was blitz everyone and drop the nose into coverage, which is, as I was playing
About
those...
to say, what substances were you consuming before drawing that one?
It was for a varsity game, so
Okay.
that's when it's allowed to happen. my only rush ever came in varsity. QB sneak for 3 yards. What a day. Snap back, ball is on the floor. Denton's going to have some work to do. He does roll out though, and he's put boot to ball here as Harrison is going to pick this up and try and make some yardage. He's going to try and run through one man, but that's a good wrap-up tackle there.
Yeah.
Is that 84? Is it 44? It's 84. I remember 84's name. It's Max Ludgate.
And we've been shouting him out a lot.
He's had a great day so far today, and then a big tackle there as he comes down to make the hit on Ben Harrison, who is not an easy person to tackle.
No, not at all. But we are seeing Ben Harrison potentially there, just deciding to go forward instead of the usual. We've seen some hurdles, we've seen some jukes. He's been putting a lot of work in for the team this half. Are we seeing him slow down a little bit? Where are we in the half is also another good question.
Handoff up the inside. I think that's going to be Onanua, number 9 there in the white helmet. It is indeed. He's going to take that for a gain of a couple. And this is the kind of runs I want to see from the Caesars. It hit quickly. Yeah. He had a gap. Okay, the Knicks player manages to get off and he manages to take Onanua down. But later on in the game, is he going to be able to shed that block as quickly? Is he going to be able to make that tackle quite as well? These are the kind of runs.
Yeah, and it's another first down for the Caesars that's an inside or a zone run.
Yeah.
You've got to think that, you said the T word then, that the feet...
Ball on the floor. Tafrei, the first one wasn't really his fault, but that's the second time the ball's been near him and it's gone on the floor. And what happened there was the pulling guard could not get out, and he just got stuck behind the pulling guard.
I think Tafrei nearly stiff-armed his own guard at that point. He was just trying to make some movement and just had to push his guard out of the way, almost to the ground. 2-minute warning we've got on the field. Jed
telling us it's a 2-minute warning. We have asked him before to actually do it to the camera, but he never does. Although Jed is desperate for an official's mic.
I would love to have it. Having played and coached around Jed before, he's very electric in the way he commentates. It's big, eccentric. I think it would add to our booth.
Yeah, that is the last thing I want. I'll deal with having fixed rig cameras. I just want an official's mic. As we see pressure shown by the Knicks, not brought. Wilson throws it out. And that is going to be intercepted on the tip drill before Mark Martin tries to rip into the floor by the helmet. Number 20 coming down with that, Josh Ogbonna. And that is a big turnover there for the Knicks. It's gone from being a punt maybe and a bit more wasted time to suddenly the Knicks have the ball immediately in the red zone.
In the 2-minute warning, with most of their timeouts, we think I've not seen many.
All of them, I would have thought, yeah.
That is, you don't want to make a bad decision worse. You've just had the fumble, you've just knocked yourself back, but throwing the ball to the opposition so that they can set up inside your 20 is generally not the game plan.
It was unfortunate because it came off the tip drill as well. It was tipped by a Knicks player, then by a Caesars player, and eventually the Knicks player comes down with it. So just really unfortunate there for the Caesars as we see Schofield. A motion to the outside rather than the inside this time, as it is going to be a handoff to Olapuna, but with nowhere to go. That's the force play we talked about earlier we wanted to see. Harry Johnson forcing the play back to the inside. That's why it's called the force player. Force him inside.
Because that's where you've got all your help, that's where you've got all your defence. No one on defence is an island or a hero. You've got to work together to bring more bodies in.
Have you met Andrew Wilkins?
Yeah, Mr. Tickle does what he wants.
So it is late in the first half here. We are inside the 2-minute warning with the clock ticking. It's Hatfield, but it's Olapuna who has been electric so far today. As we see pressure shown by the Caesars, pressure brought by the Caesars as Scanlon drops back, and we're all yeah, that's it.
No fly zone, no fly. No.
Signal for the pass breakup on what should have been the easiest interception of James Richardson's career. I do think if he was worried about the fact that Sam Fraser had, and I'm going to put this politely, very clearly pass interfered with the receiver. But I think the officials are going to call it uncatchable. And it's probably only uncatchable because Sam Fraser had him by the waist and said, no, you're not running into the end zone.
Sometimes you've got to give up 15 instead of giving up 6.
Wouldn't even
and
be
that time you
wouldn't even be 15 here.
Yeah.
It'd be 9 as Hatfield. We see the drop back. We see it thrown, fade to the corner. And that is... We don't know. We wait to see. It's number 11. It would be Aaron Jones. And it's not that difficult to know. One signal touchdown, one then half signal touchdown. It's a touchdown. The Phoenix score inside a 2-minute warning and will take this game 16-3.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the referee was looking for then. It looked very easily like a touchdown from our angle, but we are much higher up. They may have seen something with the feet. They may have seen, as we were told last week, they have the best angle on the field. Not sure what the confusion was there.
So, by the looks of it, when he came down, he had a foot in the air, and then it's just questioning whether he got the first foot in bounds. Snap back, hold down, kick is away, and the kick is good. It will be 17-3 here, with the Caesars left some work to do before half time.
Yeah, and if you're Nottingham here, what is your mentality? Are you just trying to get yourself something positive to build into the second half? Or are you going to go for broke trying to get this to a one-score game again?
Yeah, it's always difficult to tell really what they're going to be doing and how they're going to be going about it. I like to think that they're going to really have a go for this, but we will have to wait and see what the Caesars are going to do. Just having to adjust the score there on the single computer, which, again, not yet overheating. We're doing well today. Thank you, University of Nottingham Sport, for actually... I think that is an upgraded computer from the one we used to use when it did overheat. So, University of Nottingham, big shout out, not just because I work for you. We are going to see the kick. The kick is away, and it is kicked deep. Can we see some Harrison magic? We won't, because it's Fraser who's returning the ball, and he's just not going to be able to make it through. Two people closing like a pincer on him there. But it will be the 34-yard line. Now, Nate Wilson, what have you got stored up in that right arm of yours? And frankly, Ben Harrison, what have you got stored up in those legs? Because I've got to think, if they're going to get down the field at speed, it is going to be Wilson to Harrison.
Yeah, and they've got to work at speed here. They do not have the luxury of having time. We've got a stack to the far side of the field. We've got regular twins on the close side.
Yeah, that looks like Sam Lacey checking in for the first time at running back as it is batted up at the line. Oh, that's so unfortunate because it looked like Mark Martin was running wide open towards the safety. And I wonder if Wilson had placed that just outside. That would have been a nice 15 to 20 yard gain immediately off the bat. But I think I've seen more balls batted at the defensive line today than I have ever in a game.
Yeah, it is quite surprising to see how much these D linemen are getting their hands into the game.
Yeah, Nate Wilson's not the tallest quarterback, so he may have a bit of difficulty getting it over the top. And it's a short throw there to what looks like Ben Harrison. Going to be taken down. Gain of 5 or 6 there as the clock will keep rolling. Now, are the Caesars taking a timeout? They are indeed. Timeout charged to the Caesars. 3rd down. And you would think that offensive coordinator Grant Lawless, he's going to try and dial something up here.
Yeah, this is really where you want to reach into that bag of magic tricks where you've got your extra options, where you've got something that's a little less vanilla, so to say, where you're going to spring something open that they've not seen. We've seen a lot of triple option previously that we've not seen any of today. That might be a great place to start. We've also seen Tamworth have great success with those switch release routes. We might see one of those. Grant Lawrence has been known to love those in the past.
Yeah, this is an interesting defensive formation here for the Knicks. They've got sort of 3 on the line, 2 linebackers, a 3rd linebacker half creeping in, and it looks like they're just playing man coverage over the top with this. Oh, there's the rotation, and wow, not offside. Nate Wilson throws it out, and it goes through the hands of the Knicks player. It's wet. Let's just say it's wet. Jordan Webb there, number 32 for the Knicks. Just say it's wet, mate. Throw the incomplete sign, and you know you can live that one down. Not offside though, seemingly for the Knicks. I know it was tight. I looked at it and went, it just looks like someone's got the snap count wrong. But 4th down here, it does look like they're going to be going for it, and they're going to huddle up, which means that this is going to be something daft.
What?
Yeah. Strictly, that's an unsportsmanlike conduct.
I believe that is an unsportsmanlike
To
conduct.
do that, you can stand your side of the ball and listen. That's
Yeah.
what I always used to do when they huddled that close.
Stand on your side of the ball and make a load of noise, but to actually cross the line of scrimmage is usually a
Nate Wilson, RPO, and that is going to be complete to Sam Fraser, who picks up the 1st down there. Nice little pass, rocketed into Fraser. And when they're completed, Nate Wilson's got a bit of zip on this ball as well.
Yeah, none of his throws have looked wet. They've all been well delivered and in the right place. It's just getting these timings with receivers. That's not something that happens overnight.
No, it's not. And you think these teams only practice once, maybe twice a week. You're going to get maybe 30 offensive reps as a timeout is taken seemingly late by the Caesars. So that'll leave them with 1 left. So just having a look at the Caesars formation here. You've got Mark Martin, number 13, the tight end there. He was tight end. He's now coming out to be split out. And they're going for this sort of half inside stack, half not. Sam Lacey is the running back. He's a good pass protecting running back, Sam Lacey. He's got decent hands as well, so he's a good back to having at this point in time. Only 3 rushed by the Knicks, and it's going to be tipped and intercepted. The Knicks pick that off, and they've got space down the far sideline. It's going to be eventually flattened by one of the offensive line. But let's have a look who came down with that. Potentially, that's number 52, Reese Blake there with the pick. And it was tipped up and then intercepted as we see another Knicks player down on the Caesars sideline. We'll pull this away. We'll just try and have a check as to what's going on here.
And that's really disappointing after the long completion there, the RPO working really well to get the Knicks defence in a position where they could open it up, but then again just pass not quite there and suddenly you've got an interception.
Yeah, really difficult there. I think we joked last time it was Nathan Willis who was on the floor, but this time that is, I think, Nathan Willis walking to the sideline. You can see a bit of a limp there on the right leg. This is difficult for the Caesars now because they cannot concede. They can't go into the halftime break down by more than 14 if they want any chance of winning this game. Let's have a look. I'll tell you what, you can see that it's windy as we see an official coming across with some drain pipe.
Always useful to have some of that about.
And are we
at the half?
Are we at the half?
I think we may be at the half, guys.
We may be at the half.
Either we're at the half or the refs have decided it's a great time for a smoke break.
It could well be. We see the Caesars huddling up on their sideline. We'll hang around and we'll try and figure this out. Yeah, the Knicks have gone. Knicks have gone inside. So if it's not half time, it was now your half time. The Caesars cannot go down into halftime down by more than 14 because it is the halftime. At halftime, the Coventry Phoenix. I so nearly said Tamworth. The Coventry Phoenix are leading 17-3 over the stricken Nottingham Caesars. It doesn't look like it's going to be a good second half here for the Caesars unless miracles are going to occur for them. But anyway, we will jump off for half-time. We'll leave you on the loading screen, so when you see the field again, it will be the second half. Hope you've enjoyed the first half. Thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you join us again in about 15 to 20 minutes.
And welcome back to this second half where Nottingham Caesars will kick off to the Coventry Phoenix. We yet again see Nottingham in this very unique adjacent style kick-off with 6 to one side and 4 on the other. Nottingham here hoping to generate some more offence and get some points on this board before the game gets too far away from them. We see that return by the Phoenix, driving through those blocks and keeping going. Coming out comfortably just past the 35. Great starting field position. Now it'll be really interesting to see what Tamworth come out and do here. We saw in the first half that they really were playing at will against the Nottingham Caesars defence. There was a few 3-and-outs, an interception that turned into 3 points, but generally they were able to drive the ball and really create some momentum. Trips to the close side of the field with one wide receiver out wide. We see this motion again. And some confusion there on the handoff has led to a sack. Karim Handy in on the ball. Not what Coventry wanted to see first time out. Go to hand off the ball for the reverse and be on the opposite side to your running back.
Look at you calling them Tamworth, not Coventry. Also, who started the second half early?
We'll have to have a word with Jed about that.
Well, indeed. I was like, I'll get back up for half past. It'll be perfectly fine. No joy here. Do you want to take one more while I catch my breath?
Yeah, of course. So yet again in the pistol, tight end into that right side with the twins there. And we get that off tackle run with no force back in by the Nottingham team. Real strong run there.
It was a strong run there from the Phoenix, running back to the outside. It's the issue we've seen all day really for the Caesars, isn't it? They've not been able to turn these runs back inside and make sure that they can get back into the teeth of the defence.
This does set them up on third and very manageable here.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, nice place to be if you're going to be the Phoenix. I'm having to call them the Phoenix. Yeah. I know if I call them Coventry, eventually I'll say Tamworth.
Wandering West Midlands Phoenix come back out in a very strong formation here. Pistol with the sniffer and the tight end, going into 2 tight ends.
Yeah, and he's going to go nowhere. That's going to be wrapped up early. Henry Scanlon, number 7. Karim Handy, number 52. Gorso Pong, number 19. It looks like Sam Pearson, 21. 4 Caesars players in there to meet the running back.
Yeah, really interesting. We've seen Tamworth play a very wide formation, so they come in really tight and not create that initial push that they wanted. But it does look like they're going to go for it here, and I think 4th down?
It will be 4th down and 3, 4th down and 4 incoming. I like what the Phoenix have been doing. I didn't like that. They've played much better when they played wide. They're punting. Oh, Lloyd, you've tricked me there. I thought I could see their quarterback.
He might be somewhere in this formation. This is a very unique punt formation.
He's in the PAT. The snap is back. Unbelievable pressure, and it's not blocked. It is away. And that ball is going to... It went out of bounds. The referees get to play their favourite game of the week. Mark a spot. Any spot.
It's almost like pick a card, any card.
He's going to put it on the 20, isn't he? He's going to put it bang on the 20.
That's where the big line is.
That's where
make him happy.
Yeah, that's where the big line is. Remember the first rule of being a British football ref? If you can put it on a big line... He has. He's put it square in the middle of the 20. Unbelievable.
I don't think a referee can mark on a 19 or a 21. I think they see the big line and it just makes them happy.
Do you think they just don't like odd numbers?
Possibly.
And this is what's called beast formation for the Caesars. Sam Fraser in as the... I'm not even going to call it quarterback. He's got space to the outside, but Tafrey couldn't land the block. And he's going to take that for no gain there. So you can see it. 5 offensive linemen, probably with the 6th and the 7th, on how many they can manage. Then Chris Baby at fullback. You got number 41 there. We get to play another game of... oh no, that's Rob Wands, number 41. His has been changed from 23, and I forgot to do it on my roster. Thank you to Grant Laws for texting me that at 11:58.
And we come out in it again.
I know.
It's a formation with its advantages. You do get your blockers in front. You know what you're doing, but the defense knows where you're going. You're not running mesh out of this formation, are
No,
we?
you're not, but I think that's going to be... It is. Emma Harris there, signalling for a first down, so the Caesars pick it up. But the one thing it does mean is that this run hits quickly, and it's what we talked about in the first half. The ball just... they weren't hitting at speed. Even those outside runs, they weren't able to get to the edge with any urgency. Whereas this, there's no handoff. Sam Fraser is taking that ball, and he's already moving forward before the ball's even reached him.
Yeah, and they do have a few handoffs, they do have a few special plays off this, but I think they're just going to keep it standard here.
They may as well keep it
Let
standard.
that back end chase you down, but keep driving forward and
Yeah.
find the blocks.
They do need to make sure they can get that back end blocked there. That was number 20, Josh Ogbono, who had the interception before the end of the first half. They need to block it though, because he is quick coming out from the... I don't understand how he's come out from safety there. He's now back at safety. Who knows? Maybe we're thinking of someone else. Oh, it might be Ant Norton. I thought I recognised his stature there on the field. He is the person playing on the end of the line there at the top of your screen.
Yeah, you look at those three up-backs, as we'd call them. You've got defensive linemen, you've got full-backs, you've got Welly T in there as well. You're just putting mass in there and you're hoping that you guys can drive it.
Yeah, this is what someone once referred to as the world's first ever ChatGPT, which is called Ask Madden. And it seems it does seem as if Ant Norton is now down on the field, so we'll pan away from that. Hopefully he's all right. Although he did not look comfy when we were there.
No, and while you're not running this play for people to get injured, you are running it because it does tire out a defence.
It does tire out a defence. And also, I once had a coach run halfback dive, or it was either halfback dive or ISO 8 times, because it just kept working. And it's I dislike this team. That is a Leeds Beckett philosophy. Let's just run it. If it's 4 yards every time, average, we're fine. So you can see that there. Ant Norton, I think it's potentially just a slight twist ankle by the looks of it. His helmet's off, he's sat up, but they're just sort of checking the lower leg / ankle area.
No, Nottingham have been known to, if it's not broke down, fix it. Because we are going quite back here, but the COVID season, they ran the same play for an entire second half.
Oh God, I remember that one.
Yeah.
That was a dull second half. I've just had a message from one of our favourite officials, shall we say. Of course, we spot the ball on solid lines, makes things a lot easier. And I think he's chirping in the comments as well, asking us to leave the officials alone. No, that's your job. Your job is there for us to say things about, frankly. Your job is not there to officiate the games.
We do very much respect our zebras that come out and make the game playable, keep it safe. However, they are in for a good bit of ribbing.
Yeah, it's Welly T now in at running back. He's had ball security issues today, but not so now as he is driving, rumbling and bumbling down over halfway past the 40-yard line, and the first down signal is thrown. And that time, that was an A-gap run. So for those of you that don't quite understand the technical football terminology, we'll do a bit of an explanation here. Gaps are labelled by letters from the inside out. So between the centre and the guard, it's A. Guard to tackle is B. Yes. Yeah. Tackle to tight end is C. I never left an A-gap.
Tight end over, you've got your D.
D, and there's probably an E-gap here as well on the outside.
Yeah. Depends on what scheme you're using. If you're more of a wing T mindset, you might get into that 51, 52, 53 mentality, where you've got the gap and the run played into.
I don't like that one. No. So the thing was, that was an A-gap run. So Welly T took that straight just to the right-hand side and centre. You saw Sam Fraser there. That's probably a C or a D gap run. So further outside. And the thing is, the A-gap run hits so much better. So I wonder whether Grant Lawless will look at this. This is going to be absolutely vile football. For those of you who are interested in nice passing football, this is not it. If you like 1920s football, welcome to what you're watching.
Yeah, this could easily be a Yale versus Harvard game from the 1920s.
This is unbelievable. Sam Fraser manages, again, it's the inside gaps that are breaking here for the Caesars. It's not the outside gaps. I think the outside players, when you've got players like Ant Norton, Dan Schofield coming down, Josh Ogbono, they're playing really well on the outside. And I just want to see them run on the inside a bit more. It's going to be 3rd and 4 here for the Caesars.
We've still got 2nd down on the sticks now. Down to 3rd.
It's 3rd down.
It's 4 down territory there with this formation.
Oh, it's
it really
it's
is.
It's going to be 4 down territory.
There is not anything else. They have gone from their own 20 odd here all the way to knocking on the line of the 30. It's working for them.
It
so
is,
far.
although
That's not working
that
for
is
them.
not working for them.
But we do have a flag.
Oh, is it?
And we've got a fight at the back.
No flags out at the end though. Let's just check. Was he blatantly offside? Honestly, no. He was well onside. Really well onside, frankly.
Let's see if Jed will come round.
We're
We're getting some acting. We're getting a
I wonder whether this is potentially going to be a chopped block. Chopped blocks, of course, my favourite kind of blocks. Yeah, it's going to be. Oh, it's going to be holding. I didn't know you could call that as an official. Is that possible?
We'll have less zebra abuse.
So holding has been called. I'm going to get a text from Stuart in a minute saying, of course, holding could be called. And that will. It looks like it's been declined. It will bring up 4th and let's call it 7 because I'd like to guess at numbers here for the Caesars. And
3rd and 7? No, 4th and 7.
No, they declined it, so it should be 4th. Yeah, we have to teach the box to people every week, so sometimes it takes a bit of time. And frankly, I've only ever done it once, and it's dull. So
but they're still staying in this beast formation.
they've got 7 yards to pick up. Will Welly T? Are we going to see a pass out of this potentially? No, we are not. Welly T's got 7 yards to go, and he's still got a long way to go with the swarm of orange around. It's Dan Schofield coming in to clean up, and nowhere to go there for Welly T. The ball will be given back to the Coventry Phoenix, and their offense will roll out onto the field.
So from a Nottingham perspective, you have actually made yards. You've given your defence a rest, but it was just coming out of the half anyway, so it wasn't too needed. It's not what you wanted, but it's better than you've done most of the game.
Yeah, and those are the kind of plays that come the 4th quarter hit harder. It seems like it shouldn't, but everybody knows in football that by the end of the 4th quarter, you are so tired that those plays they break so much easier. We're going to see Hatfield coming out, and it's Olapuna again in at running back. Short motion from Schofield, but he's going to be the lead blocker this time rather than sifting out. Great tackle from Andrew Wilkins there to limit that to a short gain.
Yeah, and we are seeing when the Nottingham Caesars can get to the outside, there is great work there, but it's that, as you were speaking about, struggling to force people back in.
Yeah, and without forcing them back in, you're asking Andrew Wilkins there, who's kind of playing your... Some might call it Mike, some might call it Sam, depends on how you want to label up your linebackers. You're asking him to make those kind of tackles every single time. Wonder if this is going to be a toss to the outside here. We see a motion there. It is going to be a toss to the outside. God, do I know football. And it's going to be Henry Scanlon there, number 7, who's going to be the first man there to clean that up. Andrew Wilkins, number 22, following in over the top.
We'll see where that ball gets spotted. Just past the 35, maybe the 36. Still a good distance for the Phoenix here on this 3rd down play.
Yeah, I just had a message from somebody who sent me a screenshot. Have I slipped into the 1940s? No, you haven't. You've slipped into the 1920s with that Caesars offense. You might even just about get to 1900. Here we are, Hatfield in the pistol, Olapuna behind. It's probably going to be Schofield in motion. It always is. Schofield motions across, forms a doubles to the short side, which is where Hatfield is looking, and batted at the line again. That's like 5 bats at the line today, and that one was Ollie McGraw.
I hope Schofield's got his Fitbit on because he's getting some steps in on that motion.
He is indeed, and the thing is, this is the kind of offense I really like because you don't know. We've had him motion in and then be the lead blocker on a stretch. We've had him motion in and then run the sift, motion in and run a slip, which is like a sift block, but you fake block in the defensive end and then go out to take the pass in the flat. Like, it's really good, complex offensive football here from the Knicks, and you never quite know where Schofield's going to be running.
You can imagine he's going to be running downfield on this punt.
Again, heavy
we've got
pressure.
a hit to the kicker there, I think.
Was it a hit to the kicker or is it a blocker in the back? And we've got a returner with a bit of space who could have gone outside for some more but didn't. And is going to be down there, number 30 for the Nottingham Caesars as we just wait for the number. It is, that's Gabe Wiseman, that is, number 30. Took me a while just to figure out who that was.
Yeah, looks like it wasn't the kicker as the ball's not moving and we can't see any laundry on the field. and we'll see, do Nottingham come back out with a blast from the past with their 1920s offence again?
I think if they keep coming out in this, we're going to slowly move it back to the 1910s, and then it's going to be 1900s, and then
We'll go before football was invented, before the American Revolution.
What was that game that ended 222 to nothing? I'll figure it out. The Secret Base episode.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Everyone does. Is it going to be Fraser? Oh, it's going to. Oh my goodness! I hope you didn't come for entertaining football, folks, because you're not getting it anymore.
I hope you like 3 yards in a cloud of dust football, because that's what we've got.
Leave the commentary on. Go make yourself a cup of tea. I'll let you know when they're punting next. First down. It's a dive. What are we going to call that? I think strictly it's bash.
Yeah.
No, blast. Bash is different. Here's an idea, offensive coordinators. Why don't you just call runs like nice, normal things rather than calling them silly things? Defense is so much easier. Cover 2 people over the top. Here we are. Sam Fraser is still the running back. And it's counter. It's counter the other way, folks. And he had space if he'd have managed to cut it outside.
7 yards.
It's 7 yards, folks. That's more than they normally get. And it's going to be 3rd and short incoming for the Caesars. Oh my goodness, Sam Fraser, he called the counter. At this point, why is Grant Lawless calling plays? Sam should just walk out and call them himself.
It probably is at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him.
We're going to lose our mind if they run a pass out of this, aren't we? This is going... Oh, they flipped it over to the other side now. They seem to be enjoying putting it even on the short side of the field as well, so even less room.
This is the only time you run into the short side. It's the counter again, but he's going to have to make a man miss. He has got the first down, though, Sam Fraser, as he gets barreled back. But the Caesars have seen what the Knicks have been doing, and they're now going to the counter.
Yeah, and that's always an interesting philosophy. Yes, you might be good at it, it might work. But if that's what they see every day in training, if that's what they see every time they put their pads on, they know how to identify it, they know to pull into the pullers, they know what to do.
Yeah. So that one, the only thing was they just got a man unblocked. That was the only thing. Mark Martin, you see there lining up as effectively a tackle. He's a tight end. This is a tackle over formation, folks. And we're going to see where Sam Fraser going to run. You're going to want to watch 97. He's going to be the man that tells you where they're going to go. If he goes forward, it's a dive. If he goes the other way, it's counter. And he's kind of screwed it all up there for me. But Sam Fraser picks up 6 yards. You see the cloud of dust. And you see the life and the will drain out of the Knicks. Mostly because this is really dull.
Yeah, defensively, you're not getting too creative here. You're actually you're playing a very physical gap game. You're going, I need to penetrate through this gap and to hold up so that the running back can't get anywhere. And then you just hope that the guys next to you do that and you can get to the ball. You can't scheme a blitz up really. You can't play anything over the top of it too much. You've just got to play man on man and win your assignments.
Oh, you see a sift block came across there from 97. He will pick up the first down. This is the most successful running offense we've seen all year from the Caesars. As I wonder if Sam Fraser's now going to be subbed out. Because he is. He's had a lot of runs there. If BAFA want to put out not who's got the most yards, but who's going to have the most attempts in the league by the end of this game, it will be Sam Fraser.
Yeah, and if we wanted to have a stat on most amount of offensive linemen on the field at one time, I definitely think some Nottingham Caesars are going to take that.
They're going to take that. I think at the moment they're running with at least 6 and 2 defensive linemen and a couple of fullbacks. The snap is high. It's over the head of Wellington Taffrey. What can he do? I mean, the best thing he could do would possibly be throw it away. And this drive, you've got to say now, is over for the Caesars unless they can bust a big play. The best thing Wellington Taffrey could have done there is thrown the ball away.
Yeah, there's a potential for intentional grounding unless he got enough of arm to get it to the line of scrimmage and to find an eligible receiver somewhere. Yeah, you can see the body language of the lineman coming to the sideline here. Quarterback's walking somewhere towards the field. Okay, we're going to have to throw it now, but you know you're just going to get complete umbrella, guard the sticks from Coventry, and there's not going to,
So at this point, I mean, who knows what's going to happen, frankly, for the Caesars here. This is just going to be chaos. This is what the kids now apparently refer to as second down and Uber, because none of them ever get on a bus.
Yeah, I've been told my megabus reference is far too regional for people
I've
to
gone
get.
on a megabus before.
I've gone on one once. It was a very traumatising experience, and that's a broken water bottle there for somebody. Shame. That's how fun this football's got. We're commentating on the water bottles.
I once got a mega bus from Doncaster to London for 15 quid. But it was a train from East Midlands Parkway all the way, and I didn't know. So they just pulled in and told us all to get off, and I was like, This, folks, is the level of commentary we've been reduced to. As we see Nate Wilson, finally, so
there is a quarterback.
There is a quarterback on the field. Nate Wilson, number 5 there, in at quarterback. It's doubles. You think he's going to have to go to the air, which means it's inevitably going to be a run.
This is just the time to call counter.
And it's a blitz by the Knicks. And it's floated up and it's intercepted there. Picked off and he's got space down the sideline. The 10, the 5, and he meets an offensive lineman. That is number... Move the ball away from your numbers and I might be able to see who you are. Would you like the credit? I thought it was number 18, which means that could be Nathan Willis. Who knows? Frankly, he does indeed play defence, so he does, and he has a white helmet, because I remember that from earlier.
And this is a really challenging spot for the Nottingham defence, not just because you're compressed and you've got the goal line on your heels, but also because you've just watched your offence come out and run something.
Yes, they came out and
you
ran.
can't feel hyper confident that that you get the ball back and your offense is going to get you back in this at this point.
No.
You as a defensive player are thinking, I need to make something. I need to get another pick, run it back to the 30 again, and let Nottingham get a score that way.
No, all Hatfield's really got to do here is keep control of the ball, but that is not the way you want to do it. Karim Handy blows it up, and then is that Gus Opong, number 90? It is. Olapuna had nowhere to go on that play. He took the handoff and was swallowed up immediately by the Caesars defense. We're going to get back to normal commentary now.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to some more serious commentary here in the Premier North Division. The fact that this is the Premiership North Division, and
we've got one team already drop out before the season started. One team now not able to fulfill their schedule, and Nottingham's now running
1920s offense.
Yeah. It's not great up north this year.
It's not. So congratulations on London Warriors winning this year's Brit Bowl.
But no, again we see this pistol formation with a fullback / sniffer in there to create more penetration.
Yeah, it's a king back and the flag is up and it's good for Olapuna because I think he was about to get flattened. The other man from Doncaster, Karim Hamdi.
And he's really having himself a bit of a game here. Having coached Nottingham's O-line against him for a while, he's really difficult to get your hands on with. He's so low to the ground. Really works under people.
Are you saying he's so low to the ground because he's 5'0" nothing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 5 foot is a compliment.
Yeah, it is. Karim may look tall there, but that's because he put socks in his shoes to look bigger.
Yeah, he's just got 8-inch studs on.
Yeah, that's all it is.
But as you see him get into his stance here, he gets really low and just plays underneath that guard and centre.
So it's Hatfield, and he's got Olapuna behind him. This pistol has worked well. Heavy pressure. Hatfield with nowhere to go. Almost a height, and that is going to be roughing the passer. And that is what I like to call unfair. You can't duck and then get called for roughing the passer. Frankly.
No, and you'll often get people here shouting high tackle, high tackle. Obviously not a rule in British American football, just what happens in rugby. Yeah, if you're ducking and you get hit to the helmet, I'm a big believer. Oh, I think we've got face mask. I think that's the issue.
Oh, and so this is frustrating because when rugby used to put the rule in that if you ducked into a tackle and then got tackled high, it was your own fault. I kind of want the same thing for like high tackles and face masks in American football because you can't duck in, get caught around the face mask, and then say, "Oh, but your face mask." I appreciate it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But the reason the flag is there is to prevent defensive players doing it deliberately. If it's accidental because you've ducked into it, then there's nothing you can do, and that's going to give it's not only going to wipe off the sack effectively, but it's going to give the Knicks a new set of first downs.
Yeah, I remember the NFL used to have the incidental hands to the face and the purposeful. Don't have that anymore, and in the college game, it's always been hands to the helmet area will usually get that penalty.
Oh, I found out Obed Adai is number 18, and George Hatfield nearly got lit up there. I'm not sure what happened because I was checking the YouTube comments, which is not a clever thing to do when you are
sideline judge giving us that false start sign.
Yeah, so the Knicks are going to be moved back far. They're stuck facing the way of the Caesars, as if this is on the Caesars. This is on the Caesars.
Offside.
Oh yeah, no, he was 100% offside. The guard moved, so why it's not been called a false start, I know he didn't. The guard moved because he had something in his gut. Okay, fair enough. I'll allow you that one. Zebras, you got that one right. Well done. The thing is, at this point, no one's watching because they just watched what the Caesars offense was doing.
Yeah.
So nobody's left watching this game. There's 105 of you. There's 107 of you actually sitting and watching this game. This is unbelievable. Hatfield in, Olapuna, Schofield, they had the reception earlier for the touchdown. It's not going to go to him. It's going to be floated up. It's going to be intercepted. I joked earlier Harry Johnson would come down with the pick, and he's come down with it this time. That is a turnover, and we get to go back, folks. It's the 1920s again, we presume.
We will see what Nottingham come out in and see what offensive philosophy generation century we come out in.
Yeah, are we going to come out in the 21st century? Are we going to come out in the 20th? It's time to find out, really.
John Winters does seem to be walking onto the field, so that would make me think it is...
Oh, God, John Winters walking onto the field.
It is going to be 1920s.
It is going to be 1920s football, and this is something...
And it was working well until they got that snap over the top, and unfortunately you've got no... When you're in that formation, you've got no one behind you to help you support, so it's very risky.
It's a fourth quarter as well.
It is, it's a quarter change, the worst of the quarter changes. They have to walk so far. And to be fair, actually, the offensive linemen haven't been on, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But in the fourth quarter, the final 15 minutes of football coming from the David Ross Sports Village. For this BAFA Premiership year, it is 17-3 in favour of the Coventry Phoenix, with the Caesars needing to do literally anything to get themselves on the board, which is why you can see this formation.
And they're going to need a point a minute through this last quarter, and this is not the offence you run when you want to go fast.
No, and he's going to be taken down by 52? 52. Who are you? Let's find out. You're Reece Blake. Congratulations on your not going to be... Yes, it's going to be a TFL. You can chalk that one on your stats.
It's a good question. When is it a TFL in this formation, and when is it a sack?
Well, it's never a sack, is it? It's always they're all runs.
Oh yeah, but if you don't make it to the line of scrimmage, he took the ball. He is a quarterback.
No, but he's a runner.
Yeah.
So they won't be sacked. Otherwise, the BAFA stats will be very big. Sam Fraser, is he going to get to the outside? No, he is not. That is Obed Adai. I thought I recognised the helmet being a UON helmet, and I was very confused. Obed Adai, number 18 there. Back on his university home field, in the same way that Dan Schofield is. Here's an idea, Coventry. Stop nicking the Nottingham players. That was 6 or 7 years ago you were allowed to do that.
But no, it does show the strength of these university students that we've got from University of Nottingham, Trent, Loughborough, around the area, and the better teams are recruiting these university players to bring fresh legs into their squads.
Yeah, they are. Third and long here. Sam Fraser, has he got a pop pass? No, he's got a counter, but goodness knows where he's going to go with that. The answer is nowhere. Gain of 2 or 3, and you've got to think that the punt team is going to be coming out here as we see a change of personnel. I hope you like that football, folks.
Yeah, once the punt, we'll get to your regularly scheduled offensive formations.
Your regularly scheduled offensive formation. Oh, dear.
No,
just give me doubles.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the beast formation when it's used in goal line packages, when it's spelt in for those fourth and short, third and shorts. It does become a bit predictable when it's all you can run, and
yeah.
I don't think Nottingham have spent enough time in practice to run it more than that surprising play.
No. So we have the punt lineup here for the Caesars. Wait for the motion. The motion was called by Will Morgan. He motions in. I'm not sure he knows really where to stop, but he stopped there. Heavy pressure. Will Morgan manages to get that ball off, and it is hoofed. And it will roll and be brought in there. Number 30, Gabe Wiseman, downs the ball. The Knicks are going to have to go about 60 yards here to try and score. Any points, we presume, will be effectively the end of the Caesars' hopes in this game.
Yeah, generally, if you're the Phoenix here, you just want to control the clock. I don't think you're worried too much about scoring more points than you are just draining the clock out and not giving Nottingham any opportunities to score. you go for too much here, you get a pick six, and you let Nottingham's defence get them back in this.
Yeah, very much so. This is going to be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what an offensive formation looks like. It might be king, there may be a fullback, but there's not 4 of them. Hatfield in. I can't tell who the running back is, but the sunshine makes the numbers more visible. And it is going to be a pass. It's going to be Flood to the narrow side, the wide side of the field, sorry. And it's going to be Dan Schofield, who's taken some big receptions today, including that opening touchdown there.
For any of you that have been watching only the last drive, a pass is where the quarterback takes the ball forwards. I know we didn't see it for a little while, but that is an allowed part of the game.
As if we've just had to define a pass.
The booth is losing it.
The booth has gone, frankly, folks. We try and keep this professional, but my lord, this is where we normally have Sean trying to pass us messages on phone saying, keep it together, guys.
Yeah. Sean is down with his under-19 team for the second game of today, coaching away, probably being far more professional than we are.
I mean, that's not difficult, is it?
No.
Number 80, I think, Duncan Ward's there with what may have been his first carry of the day if it wasn't him that was in on the play previously. Or, no, sorry, Duncan, it's not you, it's number 30. Who are you? Theo Hutchinson Hayes. Thank you for having an easy-to-pronounce last name, because I didn't get this roster until late. So I have these written up and then written up with a pronunciation guide next to it of how I think it's supposed to be said. Not today. I'm just guessing most of these. So if anybody's name has been butchered, I deeply apologise.
Yeah, get on at your team general managers or whoever runs your clubs. The more information we get in the booth, the more we can shout you out.
Stats are helpful.
Where you've played previously, universities, GB appearances.
Oh, Hatfield under pressure. Boot out to the left. Great completion there to somebody.
And somebody keeps rocking and
Somebody
rolling.
has rocked their way for a first down. Is it 85 or is it 84? It's not Max Ludgate. That's him getting up there. It's 84.
Is that 94?
Oh no, Max Ludgate is 84. Chris
That's
Harris
94.
That's 94? Taron Chatha. Well, fair enough.
That's a D-line number, boy.
Is that a D-line number? Is that a D-lineman? Is that a D-lineman? Tight end. That's a tight end number. Wow, I've just vomited. If you, Taron, from all of us here at Nottingham Caesars, change your number, please. As we see a handoff to the outside, nowhere to go this time. The Caesars. The thing is, the fact that the Caesars defence has only conceded 17 so far, despite being in some absolutely horrendous starting positions, frankly is a testament to just how good this defence is.
Yeah, and Simon Hand has coached these guys really well. There's been a few missed forces. Sometimes the force players getting blocked out, but generally the defence are swarming where they need to go. They are working in tandem.
And also, if you think about it, until we came out with pre-Great War football, the defence were playing so many more snaps than the offence. And when you're playing those games where you're playing 60, 70 snaps, true NFL level style snaps, it's exhausting. So eventually something's going to go wrong. Little switch release on the inside. Big throw to the outside by Hatfield. And that is intercepted. And it's going to be taken down for, I presume, a touchback. Gabe Weissman.
I think we're going to get it from the
That is a horrible decision.
We've got the beanbag out, which usually signifies that they think that that's the point where they let down.
This is where some people have disagreements.
And they are lining that ball on the one, maybe.
Oh my goodness. So it's where, from what I've been told, it's not necessarily where he comes down with the ball, but where he sort of establishes possession of it. And he was basically falling over until he hit the end zone. So that is, and it is indeed. Can we just zoom in and let's have a proper look at the one? It is on the 1 yard line. So, folks, if you like the 1920s football, I tell you,
this is where you'd want to run.
This is where you want to run.
This is where this formation really works. We have got a new quarterback in the game.
Oh my goodness!
And we have got a real offensive formation.
This is an actual offensive formation. Who's the quarterback?
Johnny Football.
Oh, it's Johnny Football in at quarterback.
Sorry, I can't remember your second name, John.
No, nor can I. And it's going to be a fake, and it's complete. Mark Martin takes in the. So, folks, this is what is known as a pass. And this is where I wish I could go for the old school radio style, and this is a pass. And if you look here, and so a completion for 4 yards because the ref's going to spot it on the solid line. For those of you who aren't sure whether you want to use the red line or the blue line, it's the blue lines. So of course, you can't use the red lines anymore. So thank you to the University of Nottingham for repainting them. Like, genuinely, thank you. Very helpful, because we can now see them in the booth.
Yeah, and especially when they were first painted, they were incredibly clear. Maybe need a mid-season touch-up.
They'll be done for the university season.
Yeah.
And so we've got Mark Martin in as the tight end come sniffer. 2 backs, one of them's Chris Baby. It's going to be a sweep. No, it's not. It's going to be Johnny Football keeping the ball. Flips it out to Mark Martin. And I'll tell you what, this is the best normal offence we've seen from the Caesars all day.
Yeah, it did have 2 backs, a tight end, and some close receivers, but it's close.
I tell you what, that's still football.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with having heavy and strong formations when you've got the options to do multiple things out of them. When you've got the opportunity to, like the option pass, option run, QB option. Just giving the defence more than one thing to concern themselves about will increase your offensive efficiency.
Yeah, look at this. 2 receivers to the top of the screen. We may have Chris Baby at fullback, and I can't quite tell who the ring back is. It's handed off to Chris Baby, rumbling and bumbling his way forward.
Offensive line getting behind him, giving him the extra little push to get the first down.
The man from the south of England is making his way up the field there. Chris Baby, Mansfield's second strongest man, showing quite why he didn't make it to first strongest or to break it all of those. I'm aware, I'm pretty sure his parents are here, so if you're listening to the stream, hello, nice to see you.
Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Baby.
If you're not listening, shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Baby, indeed. Feed Baby some more. So, Johnny Football in at quarterback. I tell you what, there's some big space over. It's either Mark Martin or Ben Harrison there, who's now the top receiver on your screen after the motion. Forming doubles to the bottom of your screen. That is a snap, and it's going to be, well gotten out there. Number 82 there with the reception. That is Rhinus. I'm not going for your last name, sorry. It could be Doble Neeks.
Yeah.
I apologise for the sheer butchering of that.
We are seeing Nottingham bring out some different wide receivers here. There's some other guys in the game that we've not seen so far. I don't think they've quite gone to garbage time mentality, get the backups from running, but looking anywhere for a spark on this depth.
Yeah, they are. And it could be that they know this is the last home game of the season. They want to get these guys some run out if they've got family here and things like that. Johnny Football, snap back, heavy pressure, steps up. Oh my goodness, he's got some space, slides down. Throw the flag, referee, with how you've thrown it before. And they don't throw it there. Inconsistency at its finest. Sorry, I do really appreciate what you guys do, but like he was well slid, and frankly, like I'm a defensive player. I normally err on the side of don't throw the flag, but that one, I don't know.
Yeah, enough for the first down though. Fortunately, some good things to build on in your film, because this isn't the end of the season for Nottingham. It's the end of the home game, but they've still got to go through their routine of reviewing film, finding what went wrong, and finding those positive plays in between. You can't have a film session where you just go on about the things that didn't go well. You need to find those plays.
Offensive coordinators can. They're very good at that. Sweep to the outside, hand to Sam Lacey. He takes it almost like a dive up the middle. Gain of about 4 yards here. So they're pushing forwards. And okay, time might be dwindling. It's still 2 scores, but even if you get that down to 1 score, you can onside it and maybe have a chance. Weirder things
Any given Sunday.
Speaking of any given Sunday, 2 games left. The 20th of July is away at the Coventry Phoenix. I'm going to presume at Butts Park Arena. I'm getting a nod from the right of me. It's going to be at Butts Park Arena, potentially being streamed. No, getting a shake of the head for that one.
Unless it's BAFA's game of the week.
Unless it's BAFA's game. Has BAFA streamed their game of the week?
Yeah.
Oh, we were game of the week and I just did it.
Yeah.
And then on the 10th of August, potentially a trip to the Newcastle Vikings. Who knows if they're still going?
Roster pending.
Yeah, roster pending. Johnny Football swings it out. That's behind Sam Lacey, but it was a forward pass. So it's going to be incomplete there.
And not bad to just see that some of your options are covered up. Try and get it to your check down. You were the second QB on the roster. They brought somebody else in. You've probably not had that many first team reps. Yeah, you're going to see a few errant passes, but we've seen him deliver a few strikes, get Mark Martin involved in the game.
Yeah, he's done well so far, Johnny Football.
Makes you wonder, should he have been in earlier? Should this have been more of a battle?
So we will see what happens here as Rob Wands has motioned out there into slot, into one of the widest bunch of trips I've ever seen. Chris Baby flipping sides there. Is it going to be a handoff to Baby? It's not. It was going to be speed option, and Johnny Football's going to take this. And the ball's come out. The ball has been picked up by what looks like Dan Schofield. And then does the ball come out again? I don't know. It's chaos here at the David Ross Sports Village. Johnny Football fumbles the ball forward. It's been picked up by either Dan Schofield or Obed Adai. It was 2 white helmets for the University of Nottingham. You can be credited with a half fumble recovery each. That's how it works, isn't it? And the Nottingham defence is going to come back out onto the field trying to preserve this 14-point lead. Though at this point, with how the Phoenix have been running these out routes and everything like that, what I'd like to see is just a pure aggression and be like, we will either lose this game with a touchdown or we will go on and get a pick 6 and try and make this interesting.
Yeah, for the Phoenix, you've got no incentive to pass the ball here. They probably will. It's part of their strength, but as we see this tight formation with one receiver really far out, just run the ball, kill the clock, go home.
Yeah, you would think it's going to be that. It's going to be the counter that's worked well today. And Wilkins can't bring him down. Olapuna's got the sideline, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Phoenix. They on one play, they take it to ice the game here. That will give them a 23-3 lead here in week 6 of the BAFA Premiership North.
And if Nottingham's heads weren't down, I can't imagine that there's many people still optimistic now.
No, sometimes you get these kind of games and you know you can go to what I like to call chaos football, which is just you run whatever, anything you want, and whatever happens, happens. As we see a nice shot here. Just going to wait to see if we can pull the camera down just a tiniest bit. Thank you. Sorry, it's difficult because we haven't got the score bug on the camera. The snap is back, hold down, kick is away, and the kick is good. He kicked it over the fence, so he's got to go get it himself. Good work there, Aaron. Aaron Jones, you're off for a jog to go get that football. That is... I'm sorry, folks, but the rules when you're a kid still stand the same. You can get over the fence, you go get it.
Fortunately, it's not gone into anyone's garden who's scary.
No, not yet. So 24-3 here, and who knows what we see? We might see hide and seek from the Caesars on the kickoff return. We might. I know that was in their playbook at some point because it used to be in the GB playbook, and as we've called this special teams a GB adjacent playbook, it's the same thing. Then I know that was in there at some point.
Yeah, and I think for Nottingham, you review at the end of the season, you've obviously worked on that, aligning your playbook to GB so that your athletes have a better route into that national programme, have a better chance to get that extremely high level coaching to perform in those games. Do you want to scale that back a bit so you've got a few more tricks up your sleeve?
And this ball is going to go out of bounds, no return, but they will take over from the 30/35/40 yard line. But I can't remember what it is for 90 yard field, so someone can go back and just mute me at the correct point.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
We'll fix it in post. That's how live streams work, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're all
yeah.
fixed in post. That's, no one's ever been hot mics before. So we're going to wait to see where this is. It looks like it's going to be the 30 from where the officials are lining up. Yeah, it's going to be the 30 from midfield. Is it Johnny Football rolling back out onto the field? It is. It's Johnny Football rolling back out onto the field. His last name is officially now Football.
By default.
By default, that's what I'm just logging on to do now. But that would mean I would have to know his actual last name first to do it. Is he? Oh no, who knows? We'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. It's not like he's got family watching.
And the Phoenix defensive line slow to get set, but Nottingham not able to take it.
Oh, Obed Adai should have taken that back the other way. You can't wave that off, Obed. You didn't do anything to it. That's not how it works. You don't get near a football and say incomplete and just go, wave it off. Obed Adai is going to get clowned on the University of Nottingham streams next year for that one. Anybody who is interested in more football over the winter, the University of Nottingham will be streaming their games here from the David Ross Sports Village. If you want some more football, feel free to watch that. I have to give a shout out because it's probably going to be me doing it again, isn't it? So, Johnny Football in at quarterback. I can't even tell the running backs. It's chaos. It's chaos as assumed, and I talked about chaos football. It looked like it was supposed to be a counter because Sam Lacey came across expecting the football, And then it could have been like
I think one of them
Triple.
thought it was toss and one of them thought it was counter, and unfortunately they weren't on the same page.
and I don't think the quarterback knew which one it was either. I think he was expecting double speed option.
Yeah.
What is speed option called when you've got two people, one in front, one behind? Is that still speed option?
Possibly.
Or is that shove? No, it's shovel option, I think.
Whatever it's called, it's not going very well.
It didn't work very well. Me showing my offensive football knowledge here. God, why do people get me to do anything? Pressure shown by the Knicks. Got 5 on the line effectively.
And then a false start.
And here we are. I think this really just sums up the Caesars day, doesn't it? Now, if we're all quiet, maybe Jed's voice can penetrate the 3 walls. Not quite, but it's going to be a false start on Caesars.
And even Jed's disappointed at this point. There was no energy.
There was no energy
there, Jed.
And Jed's
Come
got,
on, you've got to perform to the end of the game, Jed.
Jed's got a second game to come.
Yeah.
They've got the under-19 game. All I've been told is the only difference is that him and Emma Harris are swapping who's going to be umpire, head judge.
Do you think they'll swap actual hats, or do you think they've both got a spare white
I think
hat?
they must have a spare white hat, because frankly, do you want to wear a hat after Jed's worn it?
No.
No, I don't either. I do actually. I like Jed. I go down.
I love Jed.
I go down after games and ask about calls. He's actually really like forthcoming with why he called it the way he called it, which is really helpful.
Yeah, so we talk a lot about.
Oh, ball up deep and incomplete. Looking for Mark Martin on the post down the field. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Caesars.
We talk a lot about the zebras in the stream, and we try and shout them out and stuff. And a big thing for me with the referees I've played with, coached with, anything like that, is the openness and transparency of the calls. It's fine to make the wrong call and to not agree with the call, but if the referee's telling you why they've called it, at least you understand as a coach. Whereas I think many years ago in Britball you got a lot of because I said so.
Yeah, well, I've been on the receiving end of a few of those, particularly a holding one, once or twice. Motion here, set up as a 3rd up back, snap back. Will Morgan reaches to the side to get it, but he gets that ball away. He is an excellent punter. He could be all Premiership punting at this rate. That's a block in the back, and it's been thrown. The flag's been thrown for a block in the back as we see the returner. He's gone back even further, so it'll be 15 yards. It will probably be actually half distance from where that flag is.
Yeah, it's a spot of the foul, isn't it? It's not where the run ends.
No, it'll be spot of the foul. That was very much a block in the back, folks. If you'd like textbook, feel free to roll your camera
Clip
back.
that one.
Yeah, clip that one and bang. Nowhere to go there. I can't work out who it was. Someone's just stood up and is then trying to get back in the play. Anyway, somebody who's wearing black gloves got blocked in the back, and frankly, wearing black gloves with a white jersey should be punishable by ejection.
So they'll march this half distance to the goal, I'm expecting.
Yeah, we're presuming it's going to be a half distance back. I think they'll spot it at about 14, so this will be spotted about 7. Oh wow, look at me, I can do maths.
I'm glad all those years at the University of Nottingham went well for you.
Oh, God, don't start. 9 years, and I still work there now.
You just refuse to grow up, don't you?
Well, basically. That's all it is, really, isn't it? If anybody wants to put anything in the comments, we've not had some for a while. There's 76 of you still watching, so feel free to put something in the comments.
Well done to you guys.
Well done for sticking this out, frankly. Yeah, that's impressive. 4 down for the Nottingham Caesars. No, 4 down on the line.
Oh, okay.
Not 4th down. 4 down on the line for Nottingham Caesars with what looked like the weirdest half-trap style blocking I've ever seen. They sort of all stepped to the side. Someone came through, but not really blocked. Have we had the 2-minute warning yet?
No.
No one's seen the 2-minute warning yet. That means nothing at home, folks. The amount of times we don't see the 2-minute warning more often than we see the 2-minute warning. So, who knows how long is left in this game. Let's have a look. Again, 4 down. As a false start there, your tight end moved. Move them back 5. That's it. Point at him. Make sure they know who it is. Andrew Wilkins in what's going to be his final home game this year. Just trying to rub it in for Nathan Willis there that his foot moved very slightly.
Yeah, take your small wins.
Yeah, take the wins where you get them. And the thing is, 24-3 is, frankly...
It's not an unexpected scoreline.
It's not an unexpected scoreline. I think the defence has done well only conceding 24 with some of the really bad positions they've been put in by the offence. And the offence scored some points. I think that's looking up from previous games, frankly.
Yeah, scored off a interception, 3 points for a field goal.
And that looks like Gus O'Pog, number 90 there. He wanted the hold, and there was questions about whether he was going to get it. Who's the running back for the Knicks now? Number 26, Ross Paxton in at running back. I just like to shout, when we get to the end of the game, I like to shout people out, because there's nothing worse than being sat at home and going, oh, it's my son, brother, family, friend playing, and you don't hear their name all game. So if you get near the ball, I'll shout you out. Yeah. Looks like Aaron Jones, number 11, is your receiver to the bottom of the screen. I can't tell who it is to the top of the screen, I'm afraid. Knicks, change your jerseys, make it more obvious. It's a quick throw out into the flats, and there should have been a flag in there for blocking before the pass was caught, but there isn't. So it is going to be taken down. Number 17, who are you? Reece Parfitt. He was the guy who was injured earlier. He's back on the field.
Good to see him back on the field.
Good to see him back on the field. Looks like Milo Wakefield coming out with a funky undershirt there. Number 15. As,
oh, yeah, nice.
That's the 2-minute warning, folks. We've seen it twice in the game. For the first time this year, we actually know when the 2-minute warning is. So, question to you, Lloyd, and I know this is the question you hate the most. Who would be your MVP for today's game?
For Nottingham, it's got to be the punter.
I mean, we're talking about game MVP here. I'm not sure we're going to give it to the punter of the losing team.
Game MVP.
Is it going to be Olapuna, the running back?
Number 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a really good start and coming back after the hit as well. Yeah, Coventry have just had a really good game of keeping this game in front of them and keeping on schedule. So, yeah, I'm happy with number 22.
Yeah, so it looks like Bali Olapuna will be your game MVP unless something unbelievably miraculous occurs in the final 120 seconds of this game. The Caesars, they have less than 2 minutes left at home. We presume they're not going to be in the play-in game following the Newcastle news yesterday. 2 minutes left. At what point do we see the Hail Mary?
At what point do we just see a knee?
Oh, no, don't take a knee. I'm a big proponent of, if you're losing, you never take a knee. At least throw it up. Like, unless you're like being absolutely battered, like London Warriors battered, then maybe for player safety, I'd be happy taking a knee. But at this point, I'd much rather they ran max protection and had 2 fades down each sideline and just heaved it up and went.
We might get that here.
Yeah, I must admit.
Just with 3 fades.
If you hadn't noticed, this is why I was saying, oh no, it's a handoff, and there's big contact there. More big contact as the lineman comes in. Who's the Caesars running back? Number 41, Rob Wands is the Caesars running back there. Had his number changed from 23. Apparently, he'd been out playing in the Spanish league.
Oh, very nice.
And has transferred back before the deadline. I asked Grant what team he was playing for, and he said the Spanish one. So thank you for that, Grant. You are forever as useful as like when you said, if we score more points, we'll win. Just thank you for your wisdom. Your wisdom. I'm not being invited back, am I? Frankly, this is the end of the career. Johnny Football in. It's going to be a handoff to Rob Wands again, and just if the receiver had seen the block, maybe Rob Wands could have sprung the sideline. But as it is, it's going to be 3rd down and 2 here for the Caesars. So, maybe we try and pick up the first down, Hail Mary, have a bit of fun with it. I'd be surprised if I saw the Caesars take the timeouts here.
No, you maybe want to get some carries for guys who haven't had as much this season, but I don't think many people on this sideline are thinking there's going to be a drastic change of fortune here. No,
it looks like there's only going to be 3 rushed by the Knicks here. 3 down on the line. It is only 3 rush. It's triple option. It is pitched out. That is Olanua, and he's going to go nowhere. 4th down incoming. Go for the Hail Mary. Go for the hook and ladder. Go watch Boise State. Do some of that. As the ball... I thought Jed was going to turn around and say that was the end of the game with the way he was holding it. We might have one more play here, folks. Yeah, this may be it. They are breaking the huddle. Let's see what they do. Does Johnny Football have... No, don't do it. Don't do it. They've done it. That's it, folks. Full time in this game. The Coventry Phoenix defeat the Nottingham Caesars 24-3. The Phoenix will improve to 4-1-1 on the season as Nottingham fall to 1-5. 2 away games left for the Nottingham Caesars. That is away to the Coventry Phoenix in about 4 weeks' time for what unfortunately may be the same kind of result. And then potentially away to the Newcastle Vikings, depending on what the Vikings are going to be doing. But there we have it, folks. The end of the home fixtures here at the David Ross Sports Village sees the Caesars fall to the Phoenix. So, it's been a hell of a season. This will be the last time we are signing off. There's going to be no more home games for the Caesars, as far as I'm aware, unless something really drastic actually has to change for that to happen. So, from myself, from Lloyd, from the rest of us here at Caesars TV, thank you very much for watching this season. 2 games left to go for them. Can they salvage a win? And let's see what happens next year. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.